Start to play the dribble.
If he has good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer. Fight through contact, fighting the offensive line, beating the double team, multiple moves stacked into one. It's just a play of pure domination. This is actual film. This is actual football talk. It's a football show. It's about football, not storylines.
And you are watching, maybe listening to another edition of Blewett's Blitz. That intro looked super laggy. I've been having some internet problems. Nothing too bad, but when you start off with an internet company, they give you like 400 megabits per second. They promise you it's gonna be good forever. And then recently I've noticed it'll drop from like 300 to 200 to 50 to 70 to 300. So I apologize for that. If it's a little bit sketchy at times, again, I'm sorry. But it is what it is. I gotta call Xfinity and bitch and threaten to switch to Verizon. So that is what it is. Get to the chat again solo. I go every other Wednesday. Do it solo. Maybe bring in like Marcus Coleman from one of these guys. Talk to you guys a lot in these ones. Just hit the chat a lot. Go to the call-ins, the video call-ins, or just the voice call-ins. Maybe about 7:30, depending. Last week, some people were requesting a mock draft, so I'm going to do a quick pre-combine mock draft. And other news than that, I think the only other thing is I finished all my reviews before free agency. I did a very big list of, let's see who I did. And then this is including Elijah Moore too. I did Elijah Moore. I'm going to post Burks, London, and then Wilson, and I'm gonna do Elijah Moore after that because I've been kind of hearing a little bit of slander that he doesn't stack up to those guys, which to me, to be completely honest, I feel like is a little bit of bullshit. But yeah, I just finished my 19th one. And the player list includes Hamilton, Thibodeau, and then yet to be posted. You're going to have a lot of posts coming soon. Aquano, Neal, Karlaftis, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson, Linderbaum, Burks, Elijah Moore, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Stingley, McDuffie, Dean, Lloyd, and I didn't even update my list. I just did Walker, I just did Green, and I just did Hutchinson. So I have a really good feel for the guys in the first round who the Jets will be targeting, either at the top or if they trade down. I'm hoping that they grab two of these guys in the first round, so I don't have to do a whole nother review for in the first round. So at least like two of them are done, because from now until the 14th, I have a little bit of a break where pretty much from this point on, minus the live streams and maybe going on another podcast or two, whatever it is, I could chill for 12 days because then free agency hits and we go balls deep in free agency where whoever they sign, I'm doing that until the 14th, all the way until the 28th of April. And then as soon as they draft, I'm doing the draft guys until, June. And then I'm mixing in the free agents and the draft guys. And I'm getting as deep as, I think last year I did like 32 reviews. I did Justin Hardy, Tyler Croft. So you're going to get pretty much everybody. So it's pretty much full press. I get 2 weeks off. And then full press from March 14th until about January. So there's literally no breaks. So nice little 12 days is good. And by the way, too, if I blank out or something like that, this show, I work midnights. You guys know that. I think of people who listen a lot. I think at 7:00 I've been up for 24 hours, which I do on my Fridays, so I could get into a normal sleep schedule for my days off. So if I'm a little bit off, if I forget some stuff, that is what it is. But with it being said, we're going to talk some Saleh, we're going to talk some Becton, we're going to talk some Q, we're going to talk some Joe Douglas, we're going to talk some Mims, some Burks comments, some misconceptions. Like, I want these chats to be about you guys, and I want to hear you talk about some stuff. Like, I want to legitimately chat with you guys. Like, hey, I've been hearing about this guy. Is that true? Can you show me a play of that? Like, don't be afraid to request stuff in terms of plays, because I could show you guys stuff that I'm seeing or not seeing that you may or may not believe. Like, a lot of people have asked me about some Hamilton stuff. I showed you plays. Some people have asked me stuff about Jermaine Johnson. I showed you plays. Ask me stuff about Drake London. I'll show you plays. Like, that's just how I roll here. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. So if you guys need to ask me about something, I'm down with it. Or maybe you couldn't give two shits less about what I do and you're just hate watching this, which is cool too. I appreciate the view. And you can't dislike on YouTube anymore. So I see let's see. Wild Billy Boy is in here from a while ago. He said, first and foremost, you're the man. Respect your opinion. With that said, do you want to redo your wouldn't take Jerry Jeudy with the 38th pick? Yeah. Well, one, I had a couple of brews last Thursday, and rethinking it, it's not something I would be jumping for joy at. I would still do it. But just looking at a little bit of a disappointing first year where he had like 50 something catches and like 100 and something targets, which I know could be bad quarterback play, it could be forced balls, but he also had a lot of drops. I think his drop rate was like above 15, which is really, really high. I think it was the highest in the NFL that year. And then he got injured in year 2. So it's not like he's starting from ground zero when he was drafted. And you're also looking at a guy who after his next year, where you bring him in, you're going to extend them or you're going to be looking to extend him, or to be signing him to a contract too. So it's not like you're getting him on that first year. But with that being said, when Jeudy was coming out, I absolutely loved Jeudy, loved him. So yeah, I would. I just prefer some other things over him because 38 to me is basically, it's basically a first round pick. Like let's be honest here. There's going to be a lot of guys who are saying right now who are never going to fall that late, and they're going to be there. So I see Junior in here. He says pre-gaming, who I don't see you a lot, Junior. Maybe you change your name, but he said he's in here all the time. Heineken or Corona. Definitely a Heineken guy. I don't know if you're asking other people, but I'm not a big fan of Corona, to be completely honest. Harold, see you. I'll post a call in a little bit later. I'll do a quick mock draft. I'm not going to do anything crazy. It's going to be my first one of the off season with you guys. And I'll just go through the thought process. And I'm going to try to make it relatively realistic because I know some of these simulators, they'll be able to get like a Quanu at 27. There's absolutely no way. So I will not. I'm not going to take them that low. Like I'll try to make it as realistic as I can see it. Junior Harold again, Jesse, Ruckert or McBride. I'm not really too sure. When I watched Ruckert, I was relatively impressed. When I saw him playing, when I was watching Garrett Wilson, I kept an eye on him a little bit, kept an eye on Olave a little bit. I feel like, both guys can be getting a little bit overhyped. Like I don't really know, obviously. So there's a couple things with Ruckert. Really two. He's from Long Island. His dad loves the Jets. I guess that's two. He's a tight end, which is a massive need. And people are like automatically going to like kind of name associate. Like, okay, we've heard Ruckert a lot. His dad liked the Jets. He's in the draft. He's a 3rd round guy. We love him. But past that, why? Same thing with McBride. Like he's supposed to be that number 1 or 2 guy. There was some hype about him at the Senior Bowl. Is it deserving? I don't know. I would like to watch more and see if it really is deserving. I got to watch his stuff in college because a lot of stuff in the Senior Bowl is completely overrated. To be very honest, like you could hurt your stock or improve your stock, but people jumping up like a whole round, unless you're a late round guy from a school that nobody's ever heard of before, and that's the first time guys are really seeing you. Okay, you could really shoot yourself up, but guys from bigger schools, the film is much more important. Manon, no name. What's up? I've seen you in here a couple of times, I think. Matthias, Simon. Come on, man. Blewett. What was I late? I don't think I was late. By the way, it's Blewett. It's already a bad last name, but when you spell it IT or ITT, it makes it just look a little bit worse. Like the ETT kind of takes some sting off of it. So let's start spelling it with an ETT. That's my request. Even though I always butcher your name, and I butcher your name, Pirlo. Am I right? I think it's Pirlo. I'm gonna get to this in a little bit. Actually, I'll just get to it now. To me, and like I think it's easy to be pretty like generic and like baseline or like kind of flatline a lot of topics to not piss people off, but have conversations. I'm a little bit of like an old man, like get off my lawn type shit. And for guys to be posting workout videos and quote tweeting with workout videos, I'm not personally the biggest fan. I'm not gonna ever crush a guy, but I come from the mindset of like just like again, don't be offended. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but people get offended nowadays really easily. Like shut up and work a little bit. Like, you're off the field, you're responding, you have 60, 70, 80,000 followers. You're responding to guys with 120 Twitter followers who they probably like you, but they're trying to just piss you off to get a quote tweet. Like that's their life is to get response from players. Like who cares? Just come into camp in shape, get through a season healthy, dominate, and nobody's going to talk anymore. You don't need to be quote tweeting guys with 100 followers. Like it's kind of stupid to me. And to be completely honest, like you look at the videos that are posting, they are some of the easiest workouts I've ever seen. People are like, yo, he's killing it. He's doing like, what are those? Again, I'm almost on 24 hours straight right now, but those little like, what are they like T-Rex or T-band bars, whatever, where you're like kind of doing like your rear delts and you're pulling yourself up. He's like barely leaning and pulling himself up. I'm like, oh, okay, like cool, I guess. I don't know. It's I want him to prove himself. I don't give a shit about, people posting workout videos. We all fell in love with Le'Veon Bell's workout videos. He sucked that year. I'm talking about the second year. Becton's workout video is cool. Like anybody can post a workout video and look good, especially when they're elite athletes. But those workouts were honestly pretty like generic, like warm up kind of workouts. So I was like, oh, at least post something good, like deadlift like 500 pounds or something. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm a little bit get off my lawn with that stuff. I couldn't give two shits less about how much you bench, how much you do that. Like people on Twitter, like, yeah, today I'm going to bench this, my PR. I'm like, awesome, bro. That is so dope. Yoshi, what's up, man? Again, gonna be maybe a little bit irritable, but with that being said, also maybe a little bit more slow speaking, which I don't think is gonna happen. But people always bitch about how I speak too fast. I think it's because there's too many thoughts that go on. But maybe being tired, I'll just talk slow, and people will appreciate it more. I am so excited that Hamilton isn't played before. Let's get Sauce. Let's get Sauce at 10 and Burks in a trade up. I do not think Sauce will be available at 10, and I am also not excited for Hamilton at 4. I would not be down for that. And I've showed plays on this stream, and I will show them again. Generational, it's not matched up. It feels like every year there's a player or two who are generational. That doesn't fit the term then. He's not generational. He has generational athleticism, but for him to be generational, I had to see consistent technique, consistent reading of offenses, consistent leveraging, consistent tackling. And in 3 games, I showed you guys how many plays. How many people were here for those streams? How many plays did I show you guys? 6, 7, 8 plays in a 2-game span where he's getting burned for should-be touchdowns and burned for massive gains? How is that generational right now? Could be generational if he develops, sure. People are like, oh, it's generational since Ed Reed. Ed Reed was drafted like the mid-teens. He wasn't generational prospect coming out. You're talking like, when's the last generational safety to come out? I can't even think of one. Like, again, I know Ed Reed turns up Monday morning quarterbacking, but he would have been the first, second, third pick. Well, probably the first pick in the draft. I don't know who came out with him that year, but he's probably the best safety of all time. But he wasn't drafted number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't think he's drafted in the top 10. I'm watching the Senior Bowl again. Nice. Marvin Guns, what's up? Let's see. I'm a little scared with the Burke saying Jets interview went well. So, okay. So the thing with this is like the Burks interview went well. So, okay, let's kind of like just digest it like really quickly. So is Burks supposed to say when he gets asked, hey, about the Jets, or I'm not sure how the question was answered. Is he supposed to say, no, the interview, again, excuse my French, I'm not going to hold back some of the stuff. I just don't care enough right now, but like, I'll avoid it now. But, holy shit, my interview with the Jets really sucked. Like, what is he supposed to say? Like he's going to be encouraged about it. Same thing with his quote about saying, or about playing in New York. And he said, if you can handle, or asked like in some way, if you can handle New York, like the New York pressure. And he said, yes, sir, 100%. What is he supposed to say? No, I couldn't handle that pressure. I would cower down to that pressure. I can't play there. Like, and people are quote tweeting, oh my God, the Jets, he's coming to the Jets. I'm like, what is he supposed to say? Like, no. That's like crazy, So don't let's chill with the looking in too much. And I get it, Jets fans, like we get so disappointed so early in the season. Like literally week 3, we're getting blown out versus the Broncos. I'm like shit, man. Like our season's like I get it. There's a lot to look forward to, but like you're already disheartened after week 3. So we really already like we've been looking forward to offseason so damn quickly that we're anticipating so much of the offseason. It feels like more than most fan bases. We hold up. We try to grasp at the littlest of straws. That the Burks quote, okay. Douglas on Mims today, I'll bring that up too. And he said Mims is attacking the offseason. What is he supposed to say? Mims not attacking the offseason, has really sucked, is not in shape. Why would he say that? There's two things. One, him saying he's attacking the offseason can be motivation for Mims, like, oh, he believes in me. And 2, if he says he sucks, and then you're trying to convince, hey, Arizona Cardinals trade me a 5th-round pick. Well, you just said he sucks. Like, so why are we buying into that? Like just we have to get past the generic stupid answers. Like it's not even really like, I'll talk about it, but to try to maybe uncover a little bit of that for you guys. I think a lot of you guys know that, and I don't think anybody's stupid here for asking those questions. But again, let's not grasp the little stuff, because the player's never going to say, yeah, the Jets suck. I can't play there. Boycott the internet services. I will. I'll seriously, because I'll get emails from like Verizon Fios, like recruiting me to their stuff and promise me stuff, and I'll screenshot it or print it out. So then when I go to Xfinity and say, hey, listen, you promised me 500 megabits per second, which it really comes in at 1,000, but I usually get like 500 to 600, which is solid. And I'll say, listen, you said you're gonna do this, and they'll say, oh well, this fee and that fee after a year and that. I'm like, bullshit. You told me this price. I don't care about any fees. You're bullshitting me. Verizon's offering me this. I'll go to Verizon, and okay, see you later. And they'll be like, oh no, wait, or they'll call me back. It's like, all right, thanks, bro, appreciate it. Why Pirlo? Why are people overreacting about Sal and staff saying they're watching? Another thing. So he's not that combine. What can't he do or see? He can see workout numbers. He can be on interviews, and he can see the medical results and hear about the medical results. So mine is being in person with those players. What is he missing out on? And let's not act like they don't have in-person interviews. They have plenty of invites to guys who come to the facility or whatever. They meet up with those guys, and they have pro days. So now we're going to lose our minds about, interviews that aren't taking place in person. He's doing it virtual because they're doing it at Florham Park. Like, for why? For why? That's my question. They're coming out. So Thibodeau just came out. Aquano's supposed to come out soon. Again, we just got on Apple News. We're on Bleacher Report now. So like we're in the works with a lot of other like publishers of our stuff. So we want to see the most eyes as possible, but it should all be coming out really soon. I got to get at least a couple of them or post a couple of them before free agency hits, because once we sign, throw out a name, Marcus Williams, Allen Robinson, and somebody else, nobody's gonna give a shit about me doing a review on Jermaine Johnson. It just is what it is. He is a freak. I in no way you're gonna hear me say that he is a freak. Ryan said he's gonna have to bring you on like next week so that you could talk about Neil and how we should not pick him. Well, somebody told him about how I didn't want to kneel. The only thing is like Monday. I could maybe figure that out. One of the Mondays coming out, maybe not next one, but. Jared, speaking of Stingley, seems even more concerning that he still isn't 100% according to the latest reports. What latest reports? I don't know what the latest reports are. You'd think a guy who is questioned with some of his work ethic stuff, again, is the combine something crazy that I need to see? No. Does it show that you're willing to compete with every fiber of you in every single drill against everybody in the biggest stage? Yeah, I put a little bit of value into that, so I want to see guys compete. But then there's guys who rather kind of fudge their numbers a little bit and be in a good environment at their home stadium, at their home turf, with their quarterback, with their OC, with their guys designing the plays. Like it helps them out. So I see why some guys don't do it, but I would like to. I would like Stingley to do it. Same thing with Carl Loftus. Like he's a guy who's trying to prove some of himself. Again, I think he's a little bit, people are kind of lumping him into like a bad athlete. He has burst. He has quick, like change of direction in terms of like, and I compare it to like long form change direction versus like short term. And I compare it to a car switching lanes, fast to slow lane versus like a car gearing down, turning a U-turn. He doesn't have like that U-turn type of change of direction, like that stop, reaccelerate, change direction, but he has like shifty, lateral movement skills. And he's powerful. Like he has short arms. He's not the most bendy. Okay. So now he's bad and he can't work out. But moving on. Over under 45 minutes for Joe brings up the fact that Nelson Aguilar, I bring it up a lot because he says he's a butt. People say he's a terrible thing. But I do bring up that a lot. I don't hear anybody else bring that up. Hello, Richard Hickey. What's up? Who are you talking about, Pirlo? Burks is a perfect fit. Good fit, overrated by fans right now. That's what I'll say. Schemed open a lot. And there are plays that I could bring up where he's ducking out of bounds early. There's plays where he can get 2 or 3 more yards and he goes out of bounds. There's plays where he could block a safety, block a corner, block a linebacker, and he alligator arms it and spins out of it and lets his guys get tackled. Like there's some effort things there that I do not love. Where London is a guy who's not talked about really he is talked about with his yak, but he fights for every single yard. Wilson fights for every single yard. Burks does not at times. There's times where it's great, and then there's times where it's not. Again, it's easy to make a highlight play or a highlight film here in college, and there's 5-6 plays you can put up. What are you doing in those other 45 plays? So Becton going to be great. I think he can be great. I do. I wish he matured a little bit more. I don't really like the whole posting on social media guys with 100 followers. Like who cares? Joe Grana, what's up, Joe? Big supporter. Appreciate you. Kayvon or Sauce at 4. So like like in term so don't take this the wrong way. Like I have like big boards in terms of who's the better player right now, and then who should people actually like take. You take Kayvon because it's harder to find DNs. Sauce is the better player in college than Kayvon. Like he put up better film this year, and I watched this year and his sophomore year of Kayvon. Sauce is I'm more comfortable with, but you got to swing for the fences with Kayvon. Like it's hard to get a guy like that with his athletic upside. So Kayvon, but if he's gone, I wouldn't be mad at Sauce at 4. What are your thoughts, Pirlo? What are your thoughts on Wilson from OSU? After watching the film, I thought he separated well in his good hands, but his speed is yeah, solid speed. Or no, his speed is it's solid for or decent for his size. Acceleration is really good. Yak is really good. His body control is really good. His lower body movement is really good. His twitch is really good. And don't take this the wrong way, I'm just talking about some traits. The way he's able to move his body is Odell Beckham-like. With that being said, he is, and I know people see the flash plays of him running routes, and a lot of that's with the vertical stems, like vertical routes, post, comebacks, where he has a little bit of time. But his route running is very inconsistent, and him getting off of press is very, very inconsistent. So people chalk him up to being the best route runner. He has the ability because of his explosiveness and like his fluidity to be that. But in terms of consistency from a down to down basis, and Kyle watched both the reviews, and I'll show you guys both the reviews eventually. London is the best route runner right now in terms of his releases, his release package. He has 7 or 8 of them. He understands spacing. He understands getting over his committing to his stop steps, getting over his drive step. He understands route running to a more nuanced level. But obviously Wilson with his size and his explosion has better route running like capability, like ceiling. But Burks, in terms of the actual technical side of it, is a better route runner right now. You see Burks, yeah, if he reaches the ceiling, but like, and people will freak out about like, again, I'm not comparing these guys at all, but like for every Burks who's going to light at the combine and maybe turn to AJ Brown, who again was drafted in the 2nd round, so not necessarily a direct comparison. For every guy who's going to light up the combine like a Burks, there is a Kevin White who also lights up the combine. Like don't like let's not, we can't just say, okay, this guy is a fast runner and he's tall, it means he's a good football player. Vernon Golston. Like there's plenty of guys who can't. Quentin Coples was kind of a freaky long athlete and he sucked, right? Like we can't just pour so much thought into that stuff. I didn't change my name. I always watch a day late. Why are you always watching a day late, JR? What's going on here? Trenches. Yeah. I'm gonna get into some of the super chats too. I'm gonna try to move down. I'll get into some other topics. Aquanu was picked number 1 latest. Yeah, I could see it. You know, again, to me personally, if I'm a Lions fan and they drafted Neal, you guys know how I feel about Neal. I would lose my shit. I'd much rather take Aquanu over Neal. I don't get the Neal stuff. Again, the draft class that Becton came out in, he's a 5th tackle to me, like very, very easily. Blewett, his play. But this is for Ruckert or McBride. Okay, you clarified. And you spelled my name right. Look at that. It wasn't great. I thought it was blocking because it didn't work. Okay, we'll see. I'm looking forward to his. I like Karlaftis. He's getting undersold right now. Pattonley Jr. Not gonna be able to read very well right now. Ruckert is enemy number 1 on Jets Twitter now because he said that. Did he say that they were the only team in New York, or did he say that Josh Allen was like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? Yeah, I don't know. Shops. I'm less concerned about Becton's strength than I am about his technique. Yeah, but like go New York, go. Sorry, Henry, get mad at me. We said the same thing about him in his first year against Jordan Jenkins, and he came out and had a good rookie year. So Jordan Jenkins to Lawson, you know, he's getting dominated. Sure. Do the beat reporters, do you trust them that they know what they're watching? Are they working on certain sets? Is he trying to figure out when to vertical set, when to jump set, when to 45-degree set? Is he figuring out new pass blocking techniques? Is he trying to shoot with his inside arm instead of his outside arm? Is he trying out different spacing? You know, like you work on things in practice to try them out. So sometimes you're gonna get beat, but you're not going balls to the wall playing your perfect technique every single time in practice. Like you could be working out things. So he is working himself back in shape. Well, I get what you're saying, Jets gang, but like I think every single person in this chat could do some of those workouts, to be honest. Like even the sled he was pushing had no weight on it. What is the sled, like 40 pounds? No, I don't know. Happy Ash Wednesday. Yeah, thanks, man. Ash Wednesday OG. Yeah, I didn't get any ashes. Who do you want on the right offensive line? In terms of him versus Becton, or talk about Fant versus Becton, whoever plays worse is the right guy on that side. And then in terms of guards, you have James Daniels, Tomlinson, you have Connor Williams, Aquano potentially, Kenyon Green in a trade down maybe, McGovern if Linderbaum's drafted. Like there's so many options, but I do want a higher tier guy, or at the very, very minimum, you're bringing back LDT and you're drafting on the second or third round. Like that's at the minimum. Joe said his. Okay. Again, so with this, he's going to say, okay, no, I'm going to reach for need to you guys, or I'm going to reach for a position like to them. And like every time people are asked, like, oh, the draft, this guy fell, and we were pounding the table. We never thought this guy was going to get there. What are they going to say? You know what? The guy we really wanted went 2 picks before, and he was like our third or fourth option. We feel like it was realistic. We pulled the trigger, but we're lukewarm on him. Like, is that what they're going to say? Sean Taylor, yeah. Joey B, keeping me company on my drive home from school. Really felt like this offseason snuck on. I didn't realize it was combine week will what is tomorrow start the drills, or is it what is today? Today's Wednesday. It's tomorrow, right? That starts the drills. And then literally the 14th is legal tampering, right? So by the way, sorry, Daniel. again, I'm gonna gloss over some stuff. I'm just stupid right now. What do you want? Super chat. I answered your question, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that a lot. Any super chats help. Eventually, I'm having a stream where I can draw on it. I can upgrade my Wi-Fi again. Have a little thing behind me, a little banner, but that comes obviously, doing a porch and stuff in my new house is a little bit. I think my wife will kill me if I start buying stuff on my computer before that. So, who do you want the Jets to put at offensive line? Right line top 3. Are you talking about guard? Are you talking about guard, Daniel? To me, like I want to address it in free agency, so it's almost like all free agents. But like off the top of my head, James Daniels is probably one. And again, I want to watch these guys. I'll preface and saying, okay, I hear about this guy. I can go and watch James Daniels and thinks he's way overrated. But James Daniels, Laken Tomlinson, because of his familiarity with the system, and then I really don't have. I'm trying to think of like the third, not Brandon Sheriff, injury problems. Those are my 2. I don't have 3. Kayvon Sauce at 4. Yeah, that's realistic, Richard. I agree with that. I think it's gonna be one of those guys, most likely, unless Kayvon, Thibodeau go, and then somehow Icky's there at 4. Somehow, if Icky and Sauce are there at 4, I think it's Icky over Sauce. But I'm cool with any one of those 3 guys. Free agency so far away. It's 12 days. We got 12 days. Why does Hamilton need to be generational to take him at 4? If you think he's going to not be available at 10, then it's not a reach to get a really good player at a position of dire need. So he doesn't have to be like it's not even necessarily about generational. I think we're throwing out that word too much. If he was the best player on the board at that spot, I would take him. Like Brandon. Yeah, Braden. But he's not. Like I have my big board of players, and he's like my eighth player right now. So if he was my 4th player, but he's a safety, but he's still not fitting that generational role, or he's not lumped into that generational tag, I would be okay with taking him. Like I'm not strictly like generational okay, take him. If he's close to that and he's my 4th player, my 5th player, fits his position of need, okay, cool with that. But he's not there for me. I think he's 7th on the guys I've watched, maybe 8th. Hit the like, appreciate that. Emanon or no name? I know it's no name, but Emanon. Boy Mafia. The only thing I know about Boy Mafia is he's a little bit undersized to play DN. So can he play? Can he play DN in a 4-3? I'm not 100% sure. Wilson connection, get it, but can't do that. So agree with you, Joe. There's no reason for these workout videos from back then. Just keep your head in the sand. Just do yeah. Again, maybe I'm almost 30 now. Maybe I'm just like a little bit get off my lawn, but just put the work in. There's no point of because now you're like putting yourself out there where if you fail, those people who you posted those workout videos to, like you're putting it out there. Like just stay humble, do your thing, grind. You're gonna hear less noise, dominate, and then just know you're doing your work. Like you're gonna like try to dump on people. Like what it to me when people do that stuff, it makes them look a little like weak mentally. I'm not gonna lie. That's just how I look at it. Like not like people like respond to JetX articles like, oh, you're an idiot. We're not. Well, it's a lot of people go after Nani. It's crazy. But like, oh, you're an asshole. You don't see Nani like quote tweeting like, no, bro, like I do this and I have this many followers. Look at like that would make him look like an asshole, right? So I kind of who cares? Can you rank your top 3 O-line and edge candidates? How far apart are they skill wise? Is there a big drop? So let me see. Let me pull up my big board. So Hutchinson is 1 for edge. Thibodeau is 2. And to me, Hutchinson, even without the Thibodeau problems, Hutchinson just based on the film, not factoring in anything else, Hutchinson is a pretty clear number 1 for me above Thibodeau. I just did his review today. I really, really like Hutchinson. So pretty clearly my 1. Thibodeau is very clearly my number 2. 1, big gap. 2, big gap. And then I kind of lump in Karlaftis and Walker together. And then maybe another step below them is Johnson. Johnson's my 5 right now. I brought up some of his plays last week with Kyle. Go back and watch it. I don't know what his calling card is. I think he has good effort. I think he has good length. I think he has good speed. I think he's good in tackling the open field, but not overly bendy, not overly flexible. His pass rush needs a lot of work. And people put up highlights and it looks great, but then you actually break it down frame by frame, or you break it down and he's beating really, really bad techniques. That's not very translatable. So I'm not the biggest fan of Johnson. I watched him initially. I was like, okay, like late first round guy, low 20s. I get it. But 4, absolutely no way in hell. 10, very lukewarm on it. Very, very lukewarm on it. There's, I watched 18 players on my Jets big board. He is 13th. So there are 12 players I would take above him for the Jets. So would I be happy with him at 10? No. I like 12 more guys than him. And then offensive line, Ekwonu, very, very easily number 1. Linderbaum, a step below him. I like Linderbaum a lot. I think he's pretty clean, but he's definitely like light in the pants where there are going to be some D tackles he struggles with. He's going to struggle in the NFL with some big guys because he's getting walked back sometimes in college. So I think he's not generational type lock center. He's just not. I like him a lot, but my thing with Linderbaum for the Jets is, do I want to displace McGovern to move him to guard for Linderbaum at center for a guy who I don't think is a generational type guy? And I know we're hanging on to that word a lot, but just to simplify it. And then below him, it's Green. I have 3 guys above Neal, and I didn't watch Cross. I didn't watch all of those guys because I didn't feel like they're realistic guys in the top 10 for the Jets. Maybe they could be, but those are how my top 3 go. Neal is I don't like him at all. You guys know that. What would you give the Jags to want to draft Hutchinson? Yeah, so I kind of just answered this. Yeah, there's a big gap for me, just technically speaking. Now Kayvon he's more of an athlete than Hutchinson, but Hutchinson has plenty of a good first step, plenty of good bursts to the quarterback. He has flexibility, not the best bend, but plenty of power. And his technique and his play on angles and his hand usage is really, really, really good. Now trade up to 1. I don't think I'm going to trade up to 1 because you're probably giving up 2 first or 2. You're both your second round picks to get up from 4 to 1, and the difference and the chance of Thibodeau falling to 4 is not worth it for me. Now the conversation is, if he falls to 2 or 3 for whatever reason, are you willing to give up like 35? If he falls to 2 and you want and the Jets want him that bad and they want their edge rusher, are they willing to give up a 2 and a 4? Is something I think Joe Douglas thinks about in a class that's not very top heavy for who I think is very easily the number 1 player in the draft. You got to consider it. I get it. The whole 10 picks is nice. 9 picks is nice. We all love going into the mock drafts and feeling every single need and every single filled need is a filled need. And they all equal the same value of player. That's kind of how mock drafts work. But with Hutchinson, like, you're getting a true blue chip guy who I really have a tough time seeing him fail. So if you're going to give up a second round pick, which let's be honest, guys, I know we love our second round guys. It's Dotson, McBride, whoever, blah, 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 blah. Guys in the second round work out about what? Let's like if you really pull up like a chart and chart out, I'm going to take a guess at like 35%, like realistically, like they do. So are you willing to take that, that under 50% swing and trade that for a guy in Hutchinson who you think can be a top of the league type edge rusher, and you pair him next to Lawson, Q, JFM? Like, it's definitely in the conversation, definitely. But let's say he falls to he's not going to fall to 3. How do they feel about Thibodeau at that point? If he's at 2, how do they feel about Thibodeau's interviews? If they're comfortable with Thibodeau's interviews, I'm not going to trade up. But if they're like, if he meets with the Jets and they're like, I'm not really feeling Thibodeau, he's not an option for us at 4. And then it's a very, very large gap between Hutchinson and Karlaftis for me. Am I not willing to give up a 2nd round pick for that? I can't say that. I would. I know people are blasting me on all the picks. I get it, but we're talking about a legitimate, really, really good prospect, and we're not going to be bitching when he's getting 12 sacks. I know I'm going to get some shit for that, I'm sure, and I don't want to defend myself because, again, people are obsessed with just picks and filling needs, and it's one less need I could fill, but we're talking about the difference in actual talent too. You got to understand that. Hey, from Will. Hey, Joe, would you rather have Allen Robinson than one of the top receivers in the draft next to him? So I'll answer the second part first. Juju, no. Again, Joe Douglas seems like a team guy, very team oriented, with a guy who is dancing on logos and the kind of the Twitter rants and stuff he goes on. I don't think Juju's the best fit with a young signal caller. So absolutely out on Juju. And if it's just in a vacuum, Allen Robinson versus one of the top receivers in the draft, I'm taking Robinson. And simply because I don't feel that the receivers in this draft are worth the 10th pick. I just don't. And going into that spot, now you have Allen Robinson, who, whatever your opinion on him is, whether it be Fields, the drop off the offense, or you're on the side of, okay, he's washed. I'd have to watch, but still probably like a lower tier number 1 at this point. You sign him for 2 years. 2-3 years, and then you go into the draft, and now you can use that 10th pick on a person who deserves to be picked there. Like I like London, I do, but like there are players who are above him. From like I would like to go trenches. Like you have Aquanu, you have Sauce, you have Karlaftis, McDuffie, guy people don't talk about enough. McDuffie, Trayvon Walker. Like you had the rise of Jermaine Johnson, which I wasn't really with. The rise of Walker, I'm buying it. It's a lot. He needs a lot of technical work, but some of his physical upside is ridiculous with Trayvon Walker. Also, if you watch the Nakobe Dean highlight, the review I put out, I gush over Nakobe Dean. I love Nakobe Dean. Do I love him to take him off at 10? Depending on who's there, I wouldn't be mad. I love that player. Absolutely love him. And people use this shit on me like, who do you like? You don't like this guy. You don't like that guy. Nakobe Dean, crush. Sauce, crush. Hutchinson, crush. McDuffie, I like him a lot too. I don't think he's getting talked about a lot. J-Mar, how do you feel about someone trading for DK? Kyle and I talked about it last week. We ranked it. Like there's options I'd rather have, but if you're talking about the number 10 pick for, I'm down for trading picks for guys who are proven. And a guy who is 25 years old, who is, I think Kyle and I ranked the receivers last week, and he ended up being like the 10th best receiver in the NFL for us. Now, yes, part of that is you're not getting the benefit of the rookie contract with that, but you're getting one of the best receivers in the NFL. I think it's a possibility. Yeah, Harrison Weaver. I literally obviously just mentioned that. I like McDuffie a lot. I heard Yoshi. I heard Singler has a loose frank injury on his foot. And I'm not getting near him. Then the last guy who had that for the Jets was Santonio Holmes. But I'm relatively confident he is. Let's see. London is wide receiver 1. I'm there with you, Praj. Now physical upside, like, and the thing with him is like, the body type, 6'5", 210. Okay, I get that. I will show you if I have to. People say it's hyperbole. Okay, I get it. It's easy to say stuff without backing it up, but I'm not pulling up obviously a 3-hour film show right now doing that. But right now he's the best route runner. He's quicker in and out of his breaks than you'd think for a guy his size. So he's a good route runner, good with size. His fight for yak is he's a good yak player. You can just look up the stats. He's a very good yak player. And then on top of that all, he's 6'5". And even if he's not able to burn guys vertically, now do you want him running, like do I if he runs a 4.7, okay, I get it. Do I want him running like at least a low 4.6, which people are going to be in love with? That's the minimum number for me, because you need a certain threshold of speed, but at the same time, with him, he doesn't need to stack guys and burn them, because if he just is able to hold his stem and get vertical on a guy and hold space to the sideline, you throw it back shoulder to a guy who's 6'5", who has good body control, bro. Like, does he need to separate like Elijah Moore does, or can you throw up the ball to him a little bit more? Red zone weapon. But yeah, he's wide receiver 1. That's going. I don't think we take a wide receiver in the first. I agree with that. Jesse, I got Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver 1, London after him. But if you're in a trade down, sure. Now if we're talking about a receiver at 10 because they don't land a guy in free agency, much more willing. London, okay, I'm not going to lie. If it was Wilson at 10, I'm not really for it. I think he has a lot of room to grow. I think London's the only guy who can convince myself of at. That's also assuming he fractured his foot or his ankle. I think it's his foot, right? No name. He had a good 4 games, but we've seen stretches of guys getting hot for a couple of weeks. So no. Joe, I'll hit this one quick because I want to get through the rest of the topics, and I also want to do that mock draft real quick, and then I want to open it up to you guys to just ask, like, hey, can you show me this on film? And I'll show it to you, which people may or might not ask stuff. But thoughts on Stingley based on film only. So his first year, I watched, was it Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma? Or maybe just 2 of those. I watched 2 of those games, then I watched 2 of his last season. The first year, uber impressive, like uber athlete in terms of like his fluidity, his acceleration, his size speed combo, like 6'1", 200-ish pounds. Really, really impressed. He had some minor flaws, but again, for a guy who was a freshman, easily fixable type stuff, but stayed square. Got shuffles in, got his hands on, replaced his hands, different press techniques. Like I was really, really impressed. And then for some reason, his junior year, it looked like he was more content to just limit big plays. Like he didn't work as much to get shuffles in. And it seemed like he would just backpedal and open up. And when you backpedal and open up, you're not getting hands on, you're not matching the stem. Obviously, you're not able to contest a stem and feel out his route. So if you're just going to open up and you're opening up to play deep, if he's going to stem you outside on we call like a squirt release, like a three step outside, but whether it be left or right, third step break inside, you're getting underneath of him and he's getting beat on slants and things like that because he's just opening up. So it seemed like he almost got a little bit lazy in terms of like, okay, I'm not going to give up the big play, which annoyed me. Now, could that be just based on, new DC, new defensive philosophy? Sure. But it definitely bothered me. But his rookie year, it was ridiculous. Like he deserved the hype he got, but, Burke's the best. If you're talking about physical upside, who could be the best, sure. But in terms of what they put out in college, no. Does Sauce have better film? No. Stingley's 2019 was better. But that was also, 2 years ago. Very true. I like Sauce a lot, but Stingley's 2021 or 2019 was very legit. Giantos, at the end of the day, it only matters what Douglas thinks. Do you think it's likely he takes Sauce at 4? Yeah, I would say we've heard rumors now that they're not going to address the corner. Now we're hearing that they're going to do it with a premium asset. People are going to say the exact opposite a couple months later, and then they'll quote tweet themselves and say, "Look, I said this," and be like, "Okay, well, you quote tweet them again and say, oh, you also said this, the exact opposite thing." Likely. Like at what percent do I want to put that? I think it's Icky, then Sauce, if both the edge rushers are gone. But if Icky goes and Sauce is sitting there, I think Sauce is the pick at 4. I think he's the best player. I'm talking about best player on the board. Okay. And he's at a position of need, right? Obviously, depending on what happens at free agency. Now, if we shell out for, let's just say, JC Jackson, however you feel about him, is it worth it to bring in Sauce too? At that point, probably not. You don't want to put that many assets into it, and you probably grab somebody else there. But Steven, with how many holes this team has and the fact that we can fill wide receiver and free agency trade, I pray we don't reach and take 1 at 10. Yeah. Again, for me with the free agency, I want to address the offense first and foremost because I don't want to go into the draft needing something for Wilson. I want to go into the draft with ultimate flexibility to have BPA. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not go into the draft and, okay, we need a number 1 wide receiver. We need a guard. Like get a guard, get a tight end, get a receiver, get it all done in free agency. And then obviously maybe you address some other things. But I want to get it done in free agency for both that reason, draft flexibility, and 2, how long does a tight end learn to adjust or how long does it take them to adjust in the NFL? Years, right? Typically, you always hear about people not adjusting quickly in the NFL at tight end. Same thing with receiver. Offensive line can take some time. So I want guys who are ready to support Zach Wilson right now, not a year down the road, not 2 years down the road, not 3 years down the road. So if you can get an established 25, 26, even 27-year-old wide receivers and be good for another 2-3 years with Zach, dope. Like that's what I'm about. So Who would you rather have between Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd? Dean for me. I like Lloyd a lot. The thing with Lloyd is they're almost like different. Like Dean is a better inside blitzer, Lloyd is a better outside blitzer. Like you could put Lloyd at edge and he could legitimately win some like just one-on-one edge reps against a tackle. So he has flexibility to be a legitimate edge rusher, and you can disguise a lot of things with him because of that ability. Man coverage ability because of his length and his size. I think he matches up better against like tight ends where Dean might get boxed out. But the thing is, like the Jets like to play like they're not going to blitz their linebackers a lot, do a lot of like crazy stunts and twist with them. So I think they're more like generic with their linebackers. And Dean to me is absurdly smart, absurdly quick, physical for his size. I know he's short and doesn't have the longest arms, but the dude is an absolute baller. So I think if the Jets were more multiple defense, and how they use their linebackers, you could make a case for Lloyd. But one, I have the Dean as the better player, and I think he fits what they want to do a little bit more than a Lloyd. So moving on, next one, Wild Billy Boy. Thoughts on this mock? KT, Sauce, George Pickens, Trey McBride. If Sauce isn't there at 10, I would love Kenyon Green too. One, I appreciate it. Wild Billy Boy, appreciate the compliment, and then ask me what the hell I'm thinking about Judy. KT, slam dunk pick at 4. Sauce, slam dunk pick at 10. Pickens, gonna preface it. What are the injuries like? Because you hear he's an absolute stud. He can compete for top 3 receiver in this draft, but is he healthy? If he's healthy, they're comfortable with it. I get it. Trey McBride, I want to watch, but what everybody's saying right now is slam dunk pick. They need a tight end. I don't even care if they grab one in free agency, get another one. If Sauce isn't there at 10, Kenyon Green, I have quite a few guys above him for the 10th pick. I get him at guard, but I have Linderbaum relatively higher above him, so I'd rather make the switch from McGovern to guard over just getting strictly Green at guard. The thing with Green is like good short area explosion, good lateral movement for his size, super powerful. His legs are like tree trunks. Like it's really hard to walk him back to the quarterback. But the thing is, I don't know if he's the best fit for an outside zone scheme. I don't think he is the best fit in an outside zone scheme. So not a big, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that pick. And then again, Pickens, is he healthy? Sauce for Wilson, 10. Anthony Coleman says. We'll talk about Wilson a little bit. Trade down short, 10. I'm not for it. We need capital. Yeah, you can always trade down, get some more picks. I'm cool with that. Frank the Tank, love the name. Is that an old school reference or is it just something different? Would you rather KT at 4, McDuffie at 10, or Sauce at 4 and Carl? Oh wow, that is a really good question. Oh, damn you. So son of a bitch, Frank. I'm gonna take KT. Because McDuffie's safe. He's really safe. I don't see him being bad, like a bad corner. And I'm taking a swing on the higher upside guy. Like the difference in those players, like in terms of how good they are at their position, I might like the grouping of Sauce and Carl Loftus better, but I'm gonna take a swing on the higher end, on the higher upside D end. You know what I'm saying? Like in a vacuum, just looking at how good they're at their position, I'm probably taking Sauce and Carl Loftus, but you gotta take a swing on the higher edge rusher. What's up, Mike? And a wide receiver at 10. Then we're talking about tight ends. Who is going to be in the game? If you take 2, right? Are you going to just run 10 personnel? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you really do that with that many assets? I get it. Now, I don't get it. If you're talking about a high-end receiver in free agency, let's just say Godwin. Okay, that's a really high-end free agent. Godwin, and then one at 10. When you're running 11 personnel, when you're running 12 personnel, who goes to the bench? I get you can't assume everybody being healthy, but you can't pour a first round pick into a guy who's going to be sitting on the bench for half the year. Especially receiver 10 in this class. Now, if it was Jamar Chase and somehow he fell, okay, then we can make an exception. Then we just get rid of Corey Davis, we trade him or something. Okay, fine. But that's not this class. Like there's gonna be edges there. There's gonna be corners there. There's talking about a receiver in the second, third round. You like Watson, you like Dotson. Who's your flavor? Okay. How important for Marv? How important is it getting new linebackers? Very important. At least one. At the minimum one. They need a starter. I know a lot of nickels. You only have 2 guys. You have Mosley. Who's the other guy? Quincy Williams. Love the story. He's a slam dunk waiver wire pickup, but he's a solid backup. He can't not be relied on snap to snap right now. So you have to get somebody. Okay, moving on. Richard, yeah, it's good. It is a good question by Tank. Pickens had an injury, but could be a steal if he's healthy. That again, I'm not there. And now people are going to hit me with these. Kayvon or Aquano at 4, Sauce or McDuffie at 10. Oh, okay. But if they take Aquano at 4, I could see Karlaftis or Trayvon Walker being at 10 though too. So if it's Kayvon, if it's Kayvon at 4, no, we could still have a bunch of guys. Kayvon at 4, I would probably be more comfortable with the percentage wise of saying Sauce or McDuffie at 10. They might double dip at defense, but if they get James Daniels, I don't know, David Njoku and Chris Godwin, are we going to bitch about not getting a guy in the first 2 picks? Like we had a lot's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, guys. If you could trade 38 for a receiver, would it be Cooper or Ridley? From Trey, neither for 38, to be honest. That's too high for me, especially considering a guy who has mental health problems. We don't know. We can't get in his mind. We don't know. I'm not diminishing it, but where is he at? I can't trade a pick for a guy who might bail out mid-season. I'm not doing that. 38 or 38 for Cooper. Again, a guy who has battled some injuries, a guy who's getting a little bit older. I know he's 27, but he's been in the NFL forever. And who's going to carry a massive contract hit when he comes to the Jets? Neither. But in talking about just a trade in a vacuum, Cooper or Ridley, I'm taking Cooper or Ridley. If Ridley was squared away, all those problems were erased, then we're taking Ridley every single day. Fall down. Okay, Ridley really okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to move to the chat. How far am I behind? What time is it? Oh, damn. June Smith. I'm not going to pull. No, June Smith, I have not. 4 p.m. workouts from Florida. Appreciate that. Would you sign Hassan Reddick, Landry? I don't think Reddick's the best fit. I would say Landry over him. I'm going to do this a little bit lightning round because I want to get through some of this stuff. But Landry might be. I think he's a better scheme fit for the Jets. I saw an article that say that we should sign. Sure. How much money does he want? He's a little bit older now, so I don't want to lock him into a long-term deal. I feel like that's more, you want to sign a guy who's going to be here for a couple of years. About the crush this workout, I'm going to say, I don't know if you were listening and you're talking about, you're hearing me make fun of people who say they're about to work out and all this stuff and then gloat about it. And then you're saying hi. Either way, don't I don't know if you're trolling right there, but Joe, yes, because I think it was you who was asking. I'm going to do a quick one. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Joe, but what if we get a right card in free agency and resign Fant? Perfect. Why? Is that a problem? None. M-man none. E-M-man none. That's a lot of that's kind of difficult right now. Yeah, Ben. I guess adjusting to throws and balls being behind you and whatever. Oh, okay, I know. There's plenty, so that's Jan. Can we stop calling safety position dire need? We have 10 other positions of need that are more dire than safety. I don't know if I agree with you, Jan. You in terms of again in a vacuum, you're going to want the end over a safety, but you have some DNs, you have some talent on the defensive line. On the linebacking core, you have Mosley, you have somebody. At safety, you have Ashton Davis and absolutely nobody. So you literally need 2 starters. So it's pretty dire. I'm not saying you need to address a massive capital into it. Maybe you get, what's his name from the Lions? Maybe get more of a secondary guy, and you draft the guy in the 3rd round. But they need to pour assets into it because they literally don't have a starter. Now, if you're talking about choose right now, premium asset and receiver, guard, edge, tight end, or safety, I'm taking one of those guys. But safety is still a big need. It's definitely a big need because they literally don't have anybody right now. If we get to about 4, would you trade up from 10 to try to get Sauce? I'll have to pull up the value chart. Braden, maybe a 4th round, maybe a 3rd round, 4th round pick, I would say. But the difference between a Sauce and a McDuffie is not great enough for me to trade a 4th round pick. And there's other guys there who I would take. It's not like Sauce is not like he's Jalen Ramsey coming out or anything like that. So. Joe Nelson, how do you feel about the running back position? I feel like if we had a real difference maker, our offense could be a lot more efficient. I still like Carly. Or Carter, yeah. But again, like this is really far down in terms of the need list. Like again, linebackers, safeties, edge, tight end, receiver, right guard. Okay, now we're talking about another running back. But yeah, no, you want another guy. You want another like 1A, 1B. Yeah, Jalen Petrie. I'm seeing that too. Praj. I want to see that. I would like to see like the second round. I'm hearing a lot. Tell me if I'm wrong, but why is Jags getting more respect going to next year than the Jets? Because we're the Jets, and it's easy to shit on the Jets, and people get retweets and clicks if you're shitting on the Jets because fans get mad. Jets fans are passionate, but the Jags have been an absolute dumpster fire. Like the Jets are going in the right direction. So, yeah, I've seen that. I'm just gonna say Simon. I've seen that. Thibodeau injured. Yeah, I think he injured his ankle, and I think he looked a little bit more bendy to me when I watched his sophomore year. But in terms of was he double teamed and game plan to stop, he didn't have Ojaba. Are you talking about Hutchinson? Hutchinson, there's times where he got chipped and stuff and dominated still. Definitely. I'm not giving. Yeah, is Dalton Schultz maybe a little bit overrated by fans at this point? Probably. But I'm still willing to shell out money for him because he's like that clear number one guy. Joe, 112 in the chat, but only 23 likes. Yeah, I've seen that sometimes. Like I'll notice, like I'll go on Ryan's, and like at least half the stream is liking it like immediately, and I'll get like a third or a fourth of the people liking it. So what the hell? It is what it is. I don't really, whatever. Generational should be a consensus number one overall draft pick. Best at it. Yeah, that's every year. There's like 3 generational players. Have you watched film on Christian Watson? No, I have not. I'm hearing second, third round. I'm 18 deep in the first round. Joe, where would you rank Icky's run blocking out of the last 3 years? I think his is not the top, close to it. Think he's special. Hold on, I gotta read that slower. Joe, where would you rank Icky's run blocking out of the last 3 years? I think his is, if not top, close to. Oh, you're talking like okay, really, really good. Yeah, no, it's definitely up there. Now, I'll be honest, like with the Sewells and those guys last year, I didn't see the Jets being obviously high enough to take those guys, so I can't really speak on those guys. But just in general, last couple of years, his run blocking is definitely up there with some of the best. So he needs some work in the pass. I definitely think a lot of his problems stem from him being in space with DNs. I think in more in a condensed area, he would be a lot better as a guard, to be completely honest. So it's not going to be as big of a problem. Moving on. Okay, I'm trying to truck through this because then we're gonna. Would you rather the players at 4 and 10 be Pro Bowl to all pro players if the Jets? Would you rather the players at 4 and 10 be Pro Bowl to all pro players and the rest of the class suck, or the Jets draft 7 above average players? I'm gonna probably say they draft 7 above average players just because they have so many damn holes in the team. Like I get the all pro stuff, but they, like we just discussed, like they have 7, 8 massive holes right now. So to get 2 guys and then everybody else sucks, you still need so many things. Like I want to start rounding out the roster. Like it's about a collective of players typically. Now the Rams, you have the Ramseys and the Donalds, even though Ramsey is clearly, at least if the playoffs speak for anything, he's fallen off a little bit, but I liked it, Jared. I don't want to go like in depth right now. Again, we can if I get to that point where I can like tell you guys like, hey, ask whatever about the film of these guys. Sure, but like good lateral movement, good agility, good patience, changes up his punch as well, same as Stingley. Super smooth, super confident, willing in the run game. I like McDuffie. People will shit on his size and say, oh, well, he's just a slot corner because he's 5'10", 5'11", right? And then you could bring up the thing you could say right away is, okay, what about Jerry Alexander? He's pretty good on the outside, right? Same size. So he can't play on the outside because he's 5'10", 5'11". Why? Omar, hold on. Didn't somebody just ask that? Or was that Omar again? Or did I just bring this up and I just didn't highlight? I don't know. Again, sorry. It's been 24 hours. So I just said this, Omar. I appreciate the super chat. $10 again helps me out a lot. the best run blocker coming out right now. He hit him, especially that guard. Yeah, he's the best run blocker coming out. Really consistent. He has a really good understanding of angles in terms of losing to gain, hand placement. His aggression is unmatched. I haven't seen a player as aggressive as him in years, to be completely honest. Kenyon Green gets a tag of being aggressive, which some reps he is. Nothing like Aquanu. Aquanu chases guys down the field who are not even involved in the play just to get a hit in. So the physicality, the athleticism for his size, the understanding of run blocking schemes, the ability to hit combos at the hip and peel off at the right time. Like there's a lot of good at his run game. The PTs, and I appreciate the super chat as always. If we don't, I'm for Icky over Sauce. And again, just player versus player. I like Sauce more than Icky, but just based on like help Zach Wilson out and Trent and the trench guy that Joe Douglas is, I'm taking him over Sauce. But JC Jackson's like, it's an interesting conversation too, because people have talked about him leaving New England, and apparently he's a player who they're afraid if he gets the money, he might start quitting a little bit. Like he's kind of hot and cold with that stuff. So do you want to sign a guy who has that rumor about him? Do the Jets have to figure that out? Yes. Kenny, so he needs to work on his like stock blocking and his blocking in general. Mike, who's asking if Drake Lunny can block if you want to listen to audio. Definitely is more than willing, and he has a size to and the physicality too. He needs to learn on some of the technical aspects. But if you're talking to like crack like on a crack toss, crack a linebacker, crack at the end, 100%. But now again, like and Burks has that ability too. But I can literally show you a play. Maybe I'll just show it. I don't know. If you tell me in the chat if you want to see it. But there's a play where he's going to crack block a guy, Burks, on the play side, and he literally shortens up his arms and spins out of it, and then the guy gets tackled by the guy who's supposed to block. I'm like, what is that? Like what are we doing here? So the want to and the physicality to is more important than the actual technique. You can learn the technique, but yes, he definitely blocks. You're looking at a guy who can block, who can get yak, who can get contested balls, who's a good route runner. Obviously, he's not going to have the same lateral explosion that a guy like Garrett Wilson is, but still good. Yeah. June, you asked a couple times. No, I'm still moving on from the bottom of it. So I'm 20 minutes behind. Damn, you guys are lighting up the chat. I always appreciate it. I literally can. I go in here like, okay, by 7, I'm gonna start doing the thing, but I don't want to disrespect people and not get through the chats, and I'll even skip some people. I can't get through all this. So I always appreciate blowing it up, and this is why I can do it solo. Which run something? I know, but DJ Jones, there's a guy from the 49ers that Nani just wrote an article about. And people will say, oh, well, they have Marshall. Oh, they have Rankins. There's a difference between a run stuffing nose tackle, which I like the way you phrased that, and a 3-tech. And they need, if Foley's gone, they need a run stuffing nose tackle. But yeah, I think it's DJ Jones. And is that the guy from the 49ers or DJ Jones and a guy from the 49ers? I know two like more higher graded run stuffing guys. Afram Joe, I'm still liking the possibility of trading a low round pick for Brandon Cooks and be up from Afram. And being on the hook for 8.7 this year versus coughing up 15 more from Robinson or Cooper, very productive receiver. Now with that, Afram, are you I'm assuming you're extending him, right? Like we're not going to trade a pick for him and then not extend him. He's 27 years old. So you trade for him, then you extend him to, maybe you give him a couple extra million this year. You throw him 3 years for $14 million a year, $13 million a year. People might think that's crazy, but you're talking about a receiver who's legitimately getting 1,000 yards every single year. And $14 million is very, very high end number 2 or low tier number 1 money, which is what he's worth. Pretty consistently healthy, consistently getting 1,000 yards. Good fit for the offense in terms of a route runner, a yak guy. I'm cool with it. I put that as my number 1 option in terms of getting a guy like a 4th round pick for Brandon Cooks. All right. Our fans are rating McBride seems smaller than a prototypical tight end and isn't that great at blocking. Am I wrong? Senior Bowl guys who always the guys who perform a lot are always going to get overhyped. You're going to hear him. You're going to hear Johnson. You're going to hear Mafe. You're going to hear Watson. You're going to hear who else performed really well. You're going to hear them really hyped up. Okay. Sorry. Mims has so many issues with play calls and the routes. He might be dyslexic or have an attention deficit problem. Yeah, we've gotten to that before. Again, people are saying he's lackadaisical in practice and not going through lateral drills and stuff like that. A little bit sketchy. You want a guy working hard. Like people, they're always like, oh well, they brought guys in and he lost his confidence. Listen, bro, it's the NFL. You're gonna have competition. If you're too soft on handle competition, you're gonna go in a shell. I don't care. Do not care. Douglas says that Mims is not done, haha. Which again, I said, like, is he gonna say no, he's done, and then ask for Cardinals for a 5th round pick? And I'm like, no, you just said he's done and he sucks. Like, what are we talking about? So Mims' chances, I don't think they're very high. 20% to work out here. That might even be generous. I just the whole mental thing, and like I again, don't give me the soft excuses of, oh, well, he went to a shell. He had a competition. Sure. But you got to, he was disheartened. Okay. Is Jeff Smith disheartened being like the 6th or 7th guy and having to fight for a roster spot? Is Vincent Smith? Is Tyreek Black? No. We can't give that excuse. We can't give him that excuse. So that's, not, I don't know. Jets X Factor, Pilfsy, her comparison to Kayvon to Josh Allen, Jags. Thoughts? There's not really much of a comparison. Josh Allen's like 240. And like more of like a 3-4 outside linebacker type, where Thibodeau is 6'5", 260. They're completely different body types. Okay, just moving on. Sir Manzer, Blewett. What's up, man? Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco. Not going to go into it. Somebody said, what's the over-under on when I mentioned? I'm not going to mention it, but you know what I'm going to mention, so maybe I'm like partially mentioning it. He was paid to be a number 2. I thought he was going to be a very good number 2. He was a mid-tier number 2. He had a couple of drops. Those drops did not happen in Tennessee. He's going to come back next year. He's going to be a solid 2. Like people are like, oh, let's get rid of him already. It's like, dude, like let's chill a little bit. But chill. Moving on. Draft time. Come on, draft time for me. It's coming. I'm doing it soon. I'm going to get through some of my stuff. And then I'll ask you guys if you want to see some film stuff. Okay, moving on. 12-ounce curls coming up. We're talking about Becton. We're talking about Smith. You talking shit about Smith? I hope you are. Favorite trait in a wide receiver, route running. And the thing is about route running, there's like 40,000 different boxes you have to check, but you have to be able to run routes. Route running. I don't, speed, size, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Yak, okay. But consistently, route running is going to get you wins. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs. Plenty of guys just went on Antonio Brown. Like route running. Or I'm not able to get through. Again, I'm definitely into super chats sometimes, but I can't get through every single chat. Okay, so I wonder what your preference would be then, because there are plenty of of low floor, high ceiling guys versus guys who are pretty consistent. My guy is Drake London at number 1, relatively easily. Charles M. give Zach Aquanu at 4 and one of the top 3 receivers at 10. Give Zach Aquanu at I'm going to adjust that statement. Give Zach Aquanu at 4 and give him one of the top 3 free agent wide receivers. That's what I'm cool with. Give me Allen Robinson, give me Godwin, give me Brandon Cooks, give me something like that. Does Trayvon Walker have a higher ceiling than Thibs? No, but it's not far off. Walker is a physical freak. He's a freak. Who would you prefer? I really have to look through the list, Marvin. Oh, sorry, Shane too. Not a bad move, but I think there's plenty. Like for me, like the end in free agency, I think there's plenty of guys in the draft at 4 and 10. And I think one of them is gonna be worth the pick. So take one of those guys there. To be completely honest, free agent corner. I'm slightly concerned about J.C. Jackson from what I've heard. I'm almost at the point now where like you get a vet, maybe like get a Stephon Gilmore for a year or 2. There are some other guys out there. I'm again past 24 hours of being awake right now, so I'm blanking out on some names right at the current moment. But vet guys, let me just pull up a list of free agent corners so I know who I like. Free agent corners, NFL. Let's see. So I know there's some names in here that I like, but I'm just completely blanking out. Gilmore's one. Who else? Gilmore. I'm just scrolling down. There's still nothing I love. Gilmore, Carlton Davis is a name I like. Weston Austin Yeah. Okay. So Gilmore and Carlton Davis are two guys. Again, I just scrolled through the list really, really quickly. I'm blanking out on some names. I'm gonna hit the like button. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Who are we taking if Kayvon and Nicky are available at 4? It's Kayvon because you need that D end. You need that D end. Joe Croft is tight end 2. Did we fail that position? Yeah, Pirlo. I've said that before. Like I have some gripes with Joe Douglas. I'm generally a defender of him, but having such a young staff around Wilson and then also surrounding him with just Mike White and even Josh Johnson, who didn't see a lot of time. I want a more veteran guy in there in that room. The fact that you had a young OC come in LaFleur, a rookie OC, and he's a guy who's coming from a Shanahan system, which is 12 heavy, and you're giving him no tight ends to work with. That was a major, major failure by him. Major failure. And this year, if he is tight end 2, yes. Croft, tight end 3. Cool with it. But they need to bring in, at the minimum, a free agent, whether that be, and people are going to like different names, but and I want a guy who's going to fit, but, a Njoku, obviously a Schultz, Max Williams, whatever your guy is, whatever your second tier guy is, they need to bring in one of those guys, and then a guy in the second, third round. If Croft is lined up as tight end 2, it's a failure. It is a failure. Thibodeau, Burks, Jalen Johnson, Hamilton are this year's workout warriors. Yeah, that's pretty spot on. Lloyd might be one too. And Dean, if you're not looking for measurements. Jones is 49ers, Richard says. Okay, yes. And there's another, what the fuck's his name? I forget his name. There's another run stuffing nose tackle. I think we project to get $5 million a year. DJ Hill, thank you, Harold. Look at that. I literally just said, okay, thank you. That is awesome. Who's a bigger disappointment, Mims or Becton? Mims. Because it's not like Mims got injured. Becton, it's not like Becton came in and was lackadaisical and didn't try hard and wasn't going through the ladder drills. Like, he got rolled up on. So while I think everybody's a little tiny bit soured on Becton, at least a little bit, Mims, when he played, there was Tyree Black was playing over Mims. Becton was hurt. It's a different story. Gabriel, thoughts on DJ Sharp? To me, I wanted to either go balls deep or in free agency, or go balls deep in the draft. He's more like a second tier guy, third tier guy, option. Sure. Would I be disappointed? Not really, but there's many more options I'd rather have. Route running and hands. Yeah. Hands are important, but route running's number one there. Okay. Iowa and Jetson. I love a solid number 2. It makes my day 1,000%. Especially if you're all backed up the entire day and then just nice clean delivery. 2 wiper, perfect. I agree with that. I'm gonna answer all stuff. I like Schultz and Njoku in free agency. Oh, Harrison. I don't think there's a top 50. Yeah, again, people are always gonna hype up that first guy, but is he really worth it? I don't know. Yeah, you've been here for a little bit. I know that's a joke. I've seen people, Bino saying this, or Bino, they saying I've seen people oh, we're getting Schultz you can get Schultz for 4 years, $30 million. I'm like, what? No, it's going to be, I can almost guarantee it's at least 11, 12. I would think. Bill Fond, liked your take on giving Zach's vets on offense. Exactly. So my thing is get guys who already developed for Zach. Because one, they're not obviously you're moving systems, so it's not exactly guaranteed, but it's more guaranteed. Signing a guy like Godwin, obviously hoping he's healthy, but Godwin, Cooper, Cooks, they are more guaranteed to work out than a draft pick, because you literally know they've produced. Instead of saying, hey, let's take a Burks, hopefully he works out. Hey Zach, here's your investment. If he sucks, then we poured a big accident to it. We'd address it in a year or two down the road, and hopefully he sucks year 1. Well, now he has to develop. Year 2, it's coming. Now we're talking about Zach in year 3, 4, waiting for Burks. Hey, let's get him weapons that are ready now. And then considering that, compiling on top of that, is the draft at the top defensive or offensive top heavy? It's defensive top heavy, right? So we're going to reach for offensive need. Why not just get guys in free agency who are ready to play? That's how I feel. I'm not going into the draft not surrounding Zach Wilson, because then what if the draft doesn't fall the way you want to? What if the Jets only like, let's just say, for argument's sake, they like Burks at 10, Burks goes at 9. They like Icky, but he goes at 3. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to reach for a receiver at 10. You're going to reach for Linderbaum. Like, what are you doing? So, like, let's get that filled and then take BPA. Probably leaning toward defense because that's where it is. F. Bus F. I hope that's a joke. I would think that's a joke. Sergeant Mike, appreciate the support as always, and obviously the gold super chat. All QBs are being schooled to pass within 2.5 seconds, so why spend more high picks on D-line? We need to get some high-speed, hard-hitting linebackers to take. Yeah, you want to get rid of the ball quickly, but there's plenty of 5-step drops, longer progressions. Like, just think of like one of the most common, even for offense that gets rid of the ball quickly. In the Jets offense, a sail concept, it's longer than 2.5 seconds. There's plenty of concepts that are longer than 2.5 seconds. Obviously, that's the ideal situation. If you're going to blitz, you get rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds. But you still have those TJ Watts out there. You have guys who are affecting the game. So it's still going to be the most important position to me on defense. But with that being said, am I going to just stack up the defensive line while you have absolutely no coverage behind it? Linebackers to flow side to sideline, to match up with tight ends, safeties to drop down and rob, corners to get in press and not allow easy slants. Yes, so going balls to the wall for defense or for defensive line and then not addressing those stuff is going to mitigate the effectiveness of your defensive line. So I get it. But it's not like, defensive line doesn't matter now because, with good coverage behind it with linebackers, like you're saying, there needs to be a balance, but they're going to make that quarterback hold the ball, obviously, right? So all of our previous first, Leonard Williams, no. Game-changing sack. Didn't Q have one against the Cowboys? I forget. But yeah, we haven't really drafted a lot of good ones. So not the biggest fan, Gabriel, to be honest. I haven't been enamored with him when I've watched him. I think he's a big body who people are obsessed with, like his size and stuff, but I don't really think I wouldn't be thrilled with it. I'd rather have like a Max Williams, David Njoku type. Yes. Matthias? I can never say it. I don't know which one it is. And he's never clarified. I think he probably has. I was just probably drinking. But yes, exactly. PJ Williams, I don't know. Chaos with Jeremy. Go check out his channel. Question, do you think a shot glass of hot sauce will help hype up players before the game? It could lead to some serious indigestion if you're running. So no, I'm going to say, but for you, sure. Do it. I would do that, You showed me, you tweeted me and you said you did the whole hot sauce mock draft thing. Do like a hot sauce, like I do beer miles, like chug hot sauce and run. And let's watch that. Be fun. Goblin come off injury, might sign a 1-year proof deal. But yeah, like the thing is, like I would want to sign him for a long-term deal. Jeff Sanders. Okay, ask Jeff if you're still hearing a little bit when I get through like a little bit of a mock draft. Ask me this because Kyle watched. It was pretty much an hour. What did I do? Like an hour and a half on him. I just went crazy. I'm gonna show up. I'll do that in a second, and then we'll do a quick mock draft. And I'll maybe take some call-ins for a little bit. Jeremy, you're gonna take that advice? Do it. Let me know. I want to see that. Shot of really hot sauce, run a lap. Shot of hot sauce, run a lap. That's the good stuff. Or transition from shot of hot sauce, lap, chug a beer, lap, hot sauce, beer. You got to do it until you throw up and see how many you can do. That's just go balls to the wall. Like if you get your best guy at 4, they get you love Hutchinson. They get him at 4. You have to do that. Jeff Wilson, running back, cool with it. I talk about Mo Alley Cox. Am I caught up? What time is it? 7:20. Okay. Any kickers you like, Bus? I don't know. I don't know. The best one. I'm not just bringing Eddie though. I can tell you that. With taking these combine conference calls with a grain of salt, Salah made it seem like he wanted to use those top 2 picks on defense, and good defense will help Wilson out a lot. I don't know how the question was framed, JR Jr. Did they ask specifically about defense? Because I know he said, well, defense helps out the offense. Offense also helps out the offense, but like people always are one side or the other. Having good receivers is going to help them. Having a good defense where we're getting better ball position, where we're allowing the offense to play balance because you can run and pass because you're not down so much, helps. So just improving the team helps Zach Wilson, Does Thibodeau for Hamilton at 10, trade up for Dean, fix the problems? All our problems on defense? No, not all, because who's playing safety next to Hamilton? Who's playing number one corner? Still big questions. Is that the worst case scenario in the world? Like Dean falls to 27, like for whatever ungodly reason, and you trade up for him? I'll be down for it because I really, really like Dean. But who's playing corner, Jesus, Jesse. How much time we have? Address the three holes, address tight end and receiver with bigger guys in free agency, land a bigger safety, land like a depth defensive lineman who's gonna stuff the run, get Dream, being realistic, sorry. I was just thinking about it. So get the three big ones, get James Daniels, Chris Godwin, and let's be realistic, and it's Njoku, and then get I don't know, like another second tier linebacker, get like a Jayon Brown and Justin Reed. You go into the draft, you get Icky at 4, you get Sauce at 10, you get McBride at 38 or 35, and that other pick is, what position am I missing now? Maybe another safety. 38 is Brisker, something like that. Like that's off the top of my head. That's that's kind of hard. But Thibodeau versus Hutch. Hutch is a senior. Thibodeau is a junior. Interesting. Hutch only played 22 games in his first years at the average stats before breaking out this year. And I mentioned that in the review I did, Flash. But the games I watched, he highlight film. Every other play, he was getting near the quarterback. Every other play, it was absolutely dominating. What was the game that Zach started off pretty hot and didn't get the ball back for the majority of the second half? Eagles, top of my head, right? I think so. I think it's Eagles. Always food. I'm telling you right now, Jeremy, if you do that, I will very much respect you. If you do a beer mile with hot sauce, that's crazy. I don't think you're gonna do it, but I would love to see it. And I'm sorry, like it's probably not a nice thing for me to say because like it's literally and I will enjoy your suffering, but I'm not forcing you to do it. I'm not forcing you to do it. Jets saying how many top free agents can the Jets really sign? If they make the cuts I'm expecting to, like GVR, maybe Sheldon Rankins, I'm expecting them to have about, let's say, 35 million to 40 million in like spending money before the draft. So, probably like 2 upper tier guys and a couple of mid tier guys is what I would expect. Like, let's say they get, let's just go balls to the wall. Like they get Chris Godwin, and then you get like Justin Reed or James Daniels and James Daniels and whoever the hell I just said, and Chris Godwin, and then you can get like a couple second tier guys. Like you get Njoku or Max Williams, Jayon Brown, and like a second tier safety. And that's pretty much all you got. Something around that. I'm not mapping out the numbers in my head. Harrison, I still think Thibs is still edge one. He didn't. I fundamentally disagree with you, Harrison. I just did his review and he dominated guys. It wasn't him benefiting. It's not guys slotting away from him. He saw extra protection. He dominated guys, rep after rep after rep after rep after rep. And I could just pull up 30 plays in a row of him dominating. And I won't have to break it down. So there he is. And he just again. So it's not like they were not paying attention to him because of Ojaba. How much money is too much for Schultz? I've seen people will want to throw. I would say for me, but like I'll preface it by saying this, I would want to watch him more, but I'm feeling like right around like 13 is like where I'm about maxed out at. About 13. Godwin is a must. Yeah, Godwin's my number 1, Richard. Okay. Let's I'm just gonna do this really quick. I'm just gonna pull up a couple of random ass Dean plays because somebody else wanted it. I'm gonna try to monitor the chat while I do this, and I'm not even gonna break it. Schultz 15-18 per easy. He's getting that goodbye. That is no. We're talking about Waller. We're talking about Kittle. We're talking about Kelsey. That's not Schultz. No, get out of here with that. I'm not overpaying to overpay. But let me just pull this up because I literally don't even know what plays. Like I don't have like, oh, I wrote down 5 plays to show. If you guys want to see 5 plays, so I'm just going to go through them, and I'm not going to break them down. If you watch the film shows, you get the breakdown. I do not feel like breaking shit down. I've been up for 24 and a half hours. I'm just going to show it to you. You guys break it down in your own head. If you want to do the full film review, you want to see it, let's get after it on those shows. That's how I feel about that right now. I'll pull up the plays, and sometimes I'll discuss them. I just don't feel like doing it right now. Entire screen. That's fine. I don't care. I got nothing to hide. You could see everything I could see, right? Yep. Okay. Let's minimize this. History. Want to see it? We got to pay me. Okay. Boom. So this is all stuff that's coming out for you guys. Hutch, Green, Lloyd, Walker, Dean, Phil, set edge, eyes, or anything like that looks really, really ridiculous. Blow up screen. That looks like it might be good. He's right here. I'm going to circle him with the far hash. Blowing up a screen. Cool. And in terms of like the eyes and the movement and the hips and reading NCAA movement, what is it right here? That's not really that crazy. I'm just pulling up random shit right now. Stuff versus drive. I know the play versus drive is really good. Where is he? Right here. Yeah, let's keep going with stuff. He is right here. Movement, run stop. I'm trying to see like I know there's like a really crazy play in here. Stride, timing, hands, athleticism. When I put a couple of things like that, it's usually good. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this one's ridiculous. Right here. Just watch him. Dude, some of his movement skills and like his explosion and just knowing where how guys are going to set. Oh, my God. Some of his plays are fire. Oh, I know what that play is. That's not anything crazy. Dean Blitz. Yeah, there's plenty of good stuff. F. I don't know what this one is. This is the last one I'm gonna pull up. I don't know what people are saying right now, but he's coming from the right side, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. I already did that. Let's pull up one more I didn't do. Range. He is right here. And I'll delete. I'm not gonna keep going through. But I literally just gloat about him for the entire review when I do that review because he's a monster. And not only in terms of like he is stop sharing. He is uber athletic, he is uber smart, he is uber physical, good coverage ability. Like I really like him. And now again, I have 30 plays. I just pulled up 4, so he's money though. Okay, we got 134. Let's do a quick mock draft. I'm not going to take your guys' advice. Just telling you. We can discuss. Maybe I will. But with that, let's just do it really quickly because I know a lot of people do mock drafts. A lot. Okay, sorry. I don't think he's a scheme fit. I think he's super raw. I'm not with that, Jesse. I wasn't I was impressed watching him, but I wasn't impressed with the Jets at 10 watching him when I watched. Obviously, he intersected with Thibodeau. So Neil number 1. Yeah, you must be new or you're joking. Either one, stop it. Let's get up this. What are we using? PFN? Is that what everybody likes? PFN. And then after this, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes maybe, and then I'll take some call-ins, and then we'll just keep bullshitting. I don't like to do these a lot because you guys know Jeff Sanders' body control is nuts, dude. Watch the review. Again, I don't know how many of the 127 of you are subscribers. Hopefully at least half of you are. Watch it. For mock, dude. Oh. Richard. I thought you were just saying Neil's like the best player in the draft just to screw with me because I'm obviously not the biggest fan if you've been watching. So PFN. Okay. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I'll go through a little bit of my process. Again, if I see Okwanu at 15, I'm not going to take him because he's not going to be there in my mind. So I'll clarify with that stuff. And the thing with this is people are always going to say should have grabbed this, didn't fill this hole, didn't fill that hole, didn't fill this. But the problem is, like, we didn't even go through free agency. The thing is, you sign 4 or 5 guys in free agency, and then it's like, okay, the holes that we're trying to address in the draft just went from 8 or 9 to 4 or 5, and it becomes a lot more clear, you know? So, share screen, entire screen, share. Got me? Is it through? Yep. Okay. All right. Click here to close. And again, I think next week, because right before free agency hits, because the next show I do with Kyle, today is the 2nd, that's going to be the 9th or the 10th. We're going to use the JetX Simulator and go through that, because now we're going to kind of project and see what we want to do in free agency before free agency actually hits. So I'm going to do that next week with Kyle right off the bat. We're starting off with a mock, maybe like 30-minute talk and then do that. So Jets, 7 rounds just in case we trade. I'm not going to try to do a ton of trades. Like, I want to make it relatively realistic. Maybe 2 or 3 trades. I think 3 should be like the max. Hiding that. 7 normal. Okay. The only thing is I can't see your comments though. People kind of stop now. Where you guys at? You guys bounced. You guys are like, I don't watch this channel to see Joe mock drafts. I see him talk. I want to talk about football. I don't care about mock drafts. It's stupid. Okay. Thibodeau, Hutchinson going 1 and 2 is literally the worst case scenario for me right now. So I would prefer the Jets to trade down. I'm not taking any next year's pick. Screw that. I want to make some picks this year. So I'm rejecting that. 8 and 43. See, like, now the question becomes, like, you guys telling me, like, I don't want to be I don't want to be unrealistic with this. So do I think this trade happens? I would take this trade personally right now, but if you guys want me to take it, I'll take it. But that's only because, like, but who are the Falcons trading out for? Are they taking a quarterback here? No. Is this trade going to happen? Are they trading a 2nd-round pick to move up 4 spots for Evan Neal? I don't think so. So, Icky, you guys want me to reject this and just kind of do it more realistic? Is that what we want? Realistic? Because I would take that trade in real life. Like, with Karloff is still there, with Icky still there, with Sauce still there. Like, I would definitely take that. Blewett. I don't know. Mateus, what are you talking about? Why are you laughing at me? What happened? Can you see my screen? Yeah. What's going on? What's funny? This trade don't happen. Yeah, I agree. I would take it, but I don't trade. Yeah, I don't think it happens. Take the trade. So, Joe, I agree with you in terms of, like, take the trade. I can't highlight your comments right now because I'm doing the mock draft. I can see on my phone though. I just don't think it's a realistic trade. So, like, I get that people like, let's get all the picks we can, let's fill all the holes. But does this really happen? Are we trying to make this a realistic draft? Like, I don't think they'd actually do that. But take it. Yoshi, moderator. I didn't see that pop up before. Chances of getting Hutch at 4, Marvin? None. Jeff, you take it, but is it realistic? Counter and ask for Kyle Pitts. Don't take it. Keep it real. Okay, Virg. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, let's keep it real here. I know all the fantasy land stuff. Take every trade, get 1,000 picks, fill a bunch of holes. But I don't think it happens. Like, I don't think this trade realistically gets offered. So let's say no. Okay, that's my thinking. But counter and ask for Kyle. Yeah, dude, sure. Kyle Pitts. So here, realistically, like, my mindset, where do they have Gardner's 14th? Okay, so automatically that's bullshit. I'm sorry. He is not the 14th best player. There's absolutely no way Olave is better than him. No way in hell. Corral, no. Wilson, no. Green, no. Booth, no. Neal, no. Like, no. Nothing I hate more than a mock draft that accepts every trade, Mike says. Yeah, it's stupid. Why wouldn't anyone here subscribe to this most informational channel on YouTube? Jeremy, you kind of just showed up recently, and I really like Jeremy. Jeremy's very supportive. Karloftis, Harold, I'm with you on that one, but not right here. Realistically, for me, anything what the Jets are going to do, I would think it's going to be Icky. You put him in at guard. Obviously, if let's just say, to not sugarcoat it, if the situation gets fucked up with Becton, then you can move him to tackle, or he's just an elite guard and you play him there. Again, it's not like if you're going to say, oh, well, you can't take a guard that high. Sure, in a normal draft, but this is a draft that's kind of famous for not being very top heavy. So let's just take a really good player, right? I'm down for Sauce. I definitely like Sauce a lot, but I think it's going to be Icky, and I would take Icky because of Zach Wilson. Let's say if Matt Ryan was our quarterback right now, and I didn't have to worry about his development because he is what he is, I would take Sauce, but it's Zach Wilson, so we're taking Icky. Okay, Neal, Steven, no. You're new. I could tell. You're too okay. let's see who went. I got to move this now. Booth went 5. I do not see that being realistic. Neal 6. Okay, sure, to help out Sam Darnold. They got to help out their franchise quarterback. I still am really, really upset that they traded Sam Darnold and the Panthers have their franchise quarterback right now. I am really upset that we kept him, or that we traded him. Sucks. And there's so many quarterbacks too in this draft. Even if we decided to trade him, there's so many quarterbacks in this draft in the top 10 that either way, even if he didn't work out with the Jets, there's so many guys we could have taken. Right? Crazy. Okay. So yes, obviously being a dick, not trading down that far. What is that? A 4, a first, and a second for basically a 2, and a low 3. I'm not taking that. I would reject that. Okay, we're with that. I'm sure. Saucer riot. So a second and a fourth. That's relatively appealing, but I like some of the talent up here. We're not down. That's not going to happen. Yes, realistic. I'm not sure. Realistic. Okay. I came in like 5 minutes ago, Steven. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Steven. People in the chat will educate you. I am not a big Neal fan for a lot of reasons and a lot of plays I will show to you. I am not here right now, though. So my thinking here, to be just based on how drafts work, to me, okay, I'm going to reject this. To me, is what goes really early. Quarterbacks. Where are my fingers? Can I see them on my screen? Oh, it's right here? I don't know. Yeah, right there. So corners go early, quarterbacks go early, edge rushers go early, right? You can get receivers, you can get guards, you can get all this other stuff. So my thing is right now, I like Gardner the best here, like very easily. The thing is though, are there guys in the second and third round who you're more comfortable with playing at corner over what you feel like you can get with a Karlaftis right now? Like that's how I'm thinking. Steven's asking, do you have video on Neal? Yes, and I've showed it a lot on this channel. Realistic draft. Trade down to teens from 10. Yeah, there was like 20, and I didn't want to do that. But Steven, yes, I have a lot of video on Neal. Jesse, Ojabo, Walker. Seems like you're. So I'm leaning Karlaftis only because of what else we can get in the second round, but Gardner is a better player, so I'm honestly going to take. I think Gardner is a better pick because he's the better player to me. Obviously now, like this is a thing. Like we're doing a mock draft. Let's be honest. It's really stupid. It is because if they sign J.C. Jackson, this is not a conversation I draft Karlaftis. Like we're trying to fill so many holes, and we've already filled some that we don't know that are going to happen by the time this draft happens. So this edge class is deep though. What's your point, Ben? I don't know where Ben is. Center, Iowa. Sauce at 10 would be murder. Yeah, like if I'm down for Sauce at 4, so if he was here at 10, let's say, is it semi unrealistic for him to be here at 10? I think probably so, but just based on value, if he was here at 10, which I think there's a slight chance he is, I'm going to do it. So I am pulling the trigger on Gardner because it's just Corral, Ojabo, Olave. That is way too high for Olave. Lloyd, cool with it. Leal, don't really know. Williams, get it. Daxton Hill, get it. Howell, get it. Elam, kind of high. Jermaine Johnson, fine. That's a steal for the Cardinals. Linderbaum at 26 is a steal. Drake London 28 for the Packers is a steal. Nakobe Dean, if Nakobe Dean goes to the Dolphins, I'm a serious mental breakdown. I like it. Or I read somebody's comment because I love Nakobe Dean. Love him. Jahan Dotson, I see that as realistic. Harris, okay. Penning, like, okay, all right, cool. I think that's relatively realistic. But yeah, Gardner, like my problem here is now oh my God. Okay, so there are two things. It's like, so you could kind of rig these systems because I don't think, there's a lot to go, right? Okay, so that is way too far back, right? Reject. That's not a discussion. I like 20 players here. So Pickens, how far is he? There's two guys here who I'm undoubtedly, I'm sorry, I love your guys' opinions, but there's three guys here depending on the board. But Walker, Johnson, McDuffie. Johnson I see as being semi-realistic. If McDuffie falls to the second round, I don't know what teams are thinking. There's absolutely no way in my mind he falls to the second round. So that is a really low ranking. And like, this is why, like, we're falling in love with these people. But like, what are they saying? Is it my official comp for McDuffie is a powder keg? Okay. Like incredible athlete, high school, numbers. He's explosive, fast, twitchy. Mentally is also awesome. Like, that's your scouting report. Like that, you get that in the first 2 plays you watch him. Like, okay, sweet. That's you're not telling me anything. He's athletic. That's what you just told me. So we have Gardner. You're behind. So we have him. So literally the only option is there's 3 guys who are very, very good right here. McDuffie, we have Gardner. Zion Johnson, we have Icky. If Trayvon Walker is here at 35 and that just happened, I will drive to Vegas and back to turn that card in for him at 35. So undoubtedly it's Trayvon Walker. I really severely doubt he's going to be there. Severely doubt that. Ooh, now this is an interesting trade. Probably should I pretend he's not there? Kind of. But I could not pay. I don't have the strength to do it. I can't. Jesse, you said I don't know if Walker is there, but if he is, I like it. No, love it. I'll show you guys some plays of him. Maybe not now or in the future. This one is one I honestly would probably take. You're moving up from a later 4th round pick to a mid 3rd round pick for a difference of 5 picks. Like, is there anybody we absolutely love here? You have your edge, you have your guard, you have your corner. You're not taking a running back. I don't know how, these guys probably aren't going to go, which again, we would like to, D-tackle. No. Who else is there anybody down here who's like unrealistic? People are obviously going to say McBride right now, right? But it's again, there are people who think, okay, yeah, 35, 38. There's people who think, I think Daniel Jeremiah, who I respect, has him outside of his top 50 guys. So 48 is the most unrealistic thing in the world? No. There's nobody here I see who I'm like, okay, we need to take this guy right now. So I think a trade down is plenty. I don't, is it a realistic trade? 5 picks for 40 picks up. They must love whoever it is. Let's see who it is. David Bell, Pickett. Yeah, it's an absolute robbery, right, guys? I completely agree with you. Don't get McBride, Jesse says. I think the chat will hang me from a flagpole if they don't buy my underwear. Yeah, definitely 100% taking that. Thank you for that robbery, Falcons. They took Kingsley Enabare, whatever his name is. He's like an Uber athlete, right? Do we love, dude? McDuffie's not here in real life. He's not here in real life. I'm telling you. Jesse, why don't you want to get McBride? Do you guys watch too many other mock drafts where everybody gets McBride? So that's like the generic thing to do. I haven't done a mock draft yet, but Jets can get McBride. Jesse, don't get McBride. Which one? I don't know. Or okay, yes, that's the reason everybody else gets McBride. I'll go on titles and I'll check them out. Like, I don't, it is what it is. I'm busy. I'm obviously working midnights. Muma, that's not a bad option, honestly. Jets gang. Zion Johnson's a first rounder. Prosh says, yeah, I think he's a late first rounder based on what I'm hearing. Or do you guys, okay, we see a couple of tight ends here. We see McBride, we see Likely, we see Weidemeyer. We see Pitry, who's a good pick at safety right now. To be completely honest, in real life, I would like that pick. Again, McDuffie is not going to be here at 43. I see that as no way. So do we trade down 10 spots? Is there enough players we'd like to maybe counter and get, let's just see what, like, instead of a second next year, we get an 87 this year and we move the pick from 110 to 146. What do you got? I'll take your advice on some of this stuff. Maybe not player. Well, I'll take some of your advice on players, but like, is that a good trade? Would you guys do this? 43 and 146 for 55 and 87. So we're moving down 12 spots to move up, almost 60 spots. What do you guys think? Either the first 2 of yes or no, yes for the trade, no for not. That's what I'll do. Take trade. That's 1 for trade. Throw some darts at tight end later. Okay, so that's not an answer. Muma is good, pretty big, fast. Nope. Take it 2. Okay, 2. I'll propose it then. Okay, we traded down. We're moving up. We're getting a lot of mid-tier picks. McDuffie went, McCreary went, Petrie went. Damn it. That kind of hurts with Petrie going. Kendrick went. Wyatt went. Okay, everybody's saying take it. Steven, Draft Network. Okay, maybe next time I'll do Draft Network. Dude is a fluid linebacker. Or better yet, sign Schultz, expensive position, second round. Sign Schultz and draft one of these guys, you know? So I'm not taking trades for next year. I just don't want to do, I'm not doing all that. 17 spots now for an extra, for an early-ish fourth round pick. Will you guys do it? Muma or McBride? Okay, you guys don't want that. So looking at the Jets right now, like my massive holes. So we need a receiver still, obviously, right? We need a tight end. And I would say the other two big ones, linebacker, safety, right? So we need 4 positions still, and we have 4 picks in the top 3 rounds. So we're hoping to get some combination. To me, in my head right now, I'm thinking linebacker, tight end, safety, receiver, right? Like, is that do we all agree on those top 4? Like, that's what I think. Right here. Okay, so when's our next pick? We have 55, and then we have 69. So are there linebackers down the line? Because to be completely honest with the tight ends, are you McBride, Muma? Okay. So I'm kind of, again, when I watch these guys, I'm going to be able to tell you, like, no, definitely this guy. And I'm not going to, like, okay, so you have Brandon Smith and Ferguson later down, Quay Walker. Receivers, there's another linebacker. There's not, so we'd really be banking on Ferguson then later. So we're looking at ideally either McBride and Brandon Smith, Quay Walker, or we're looking at Muma and Ferguson if he's there. the draft, dude, everybody's literally, it's Muma. Literally, the chat is, let's see. So we have Muma, McBride, linebacker, Muma, another Muma, McBride, sprint to the podium for McBride. I'm split on this one because I haven't watched him. So we'll do the next 3 for the next 3 chats, 3 for McBride, 3 for Muma. I'll take your guys on this one because I don't know them enough. So I'll do a little bit of you guys. Muma. Okay, Muma, yeah. Muma won out quick. We have bigger Muma fans and McBride's fans, or they just type faster, and all the old guys are McBride guys. And people are saying too many people take McBride. So let's do Muma. Mathis, Bryce Hall, Dubs. McBride still isn't there. Like, at this point, are you the Jets and you consider trading up? You know? We're not going to do that. That's too involved. Okay, so not very realistic, right? But we never know, right, guys? We never know. McBride, he was at his pro day and he strained his hammy, and now he's a slight concerned, or he went to get a medical and he yelled at a nurse. Like, we're just gonna do it. Like, I try to do it realistic, but this is too tempting to get Trayvon Walker and now McBride. Like, this is I don't know about you guys, but this is a home run draft for me so far. I think I'm taking McBride. I'm sorry. There's no conversation. We got Muma Harrison. Who went after? No, I'm not doing next year's. Well, maybe, hold on, let me see. Let's see. Oh, we can talk about that. I watched Weidermeyer when I was watching Kenyon Green. Not the biggest fan, to be completely honest. Kyler Gordon is not falling to 73. Would you guys take this 19 spots down for basically an early 4th? Let's see who's there, because right now we filled those 2, so we have basically need like 3 on offense, 4 on defense, right? Kind of, that's like 7 big needs. So the 3 on offense to me are guard, tight end, receiver. The 4 on offense or the 4 on defense are edge, linebacker, safety, corner. So we have the 2 on offense, we have 3 on defense. So now we need a receiver and we need a safety, right? Is there any receiver or safety that's we're really willing to take here? People have been hyping up these guys all day. You guys want to take one of them? Like, again, I don't really know, so I'm kind of asking. Like, we're just kind of discussing it. I'll have much stronger opinions in the future. But if you're talking about a guy who people are blowing up right now, Pickens, in terms of his ability not injured, and then people are talking about Watson as a second round guy, is it possible he falls to 74? Of course it is. Plenty of guys fall that we don't think are going to fall. Like, but no doubt about it, this guy's a second round pick. He goes in the 5th round. You know, Watson, Pickens or Watson. Wait to the 5th and get Lon O'Neal. Watson, Pickens, Watson. It's like you guys are always split. It's never consensus, and I have like 2 players like this, which is fine. That's cool. Or DT Travis Jones. Okay, so we're doing one of the receivers. We are going from now 3 to Watson or 3 to Pickens. The first 3. Let's see here. 1 for Pickens, 2 for Pickens. Jones, you don't count. Watson, I guess I'll take that. Pickens. Okay, it's Pickens. So we got Pickens, a guy who's apparently he could be a top 3, top 5 receiver if he wasn't injured. Jets are comfortable with medicals. They just got to steal. Sweet. So now we really need a safety, right? Yeah, you guys are Pickens. Okay, I thought you were pick, mother effer. Got all night. 2 trades. Early 4th and a 5th for this. I might take that if I don't love anybody right now. Hold on a second. Dude, there are some good players. Brandon Smith, Watson. Are we taking back-to-back receivers? Logan Hall. Listen, the Jets need a D tackle. They do. Algier. Now we're looking at more secondary needs, but we still need a safety. Is there any really good safeties? Again, I don't really know a lot about McKinley. Are we going to reach to just kind of fill our big 7 needs? You know? Is that what we're doing? Trade 87 for DK? Sweet. Do it. Brandon Smith from Penn State's going to be a beast, says NY Bully. Yeah, I would be, and he's apparently a hybrid edge linebacker, so you can put him at linebacker standing up like a Sam and rush him on some downs. I like the versatility, apparently. You also have Jake Ferguson here, who now you're stacking up the tight end room with Ferguson and McBride. You have Watson, who, to be completely honest, do I think he's available here? In my mind, no. Have we went out a little bit unrealistic at this point already? Yeah. But with that said, now he's going to be wide receiver 4. And we didn't sign a guy in free agency. Like, maybe we signed Godwin in this, and then we saw Pickens at 70 or whatever we got him, and we're like, holy shit, he's going to be our wide receiver 4. Can you imagine our wide receiver 4 of Godwin, Pickens, Elijah Moore, and Corey Davis? Like, now we're talking. I'll draft a guy in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round if we draft we get a big receiver, but I don't know about taking Watson here too, to be honest. Phil C. Steven Engel going to NYJ today in 5 minutes. Good. Go to his chat. That's okay. It's kind of a weird comment, Steven, to be completely honest, but enjoy. So many choices. Take Hall. Okay. I'm just going to I'll give you 3 options. I'll give you 3 options here that I'm thinking. McKinley, because we need a safety. You know, hopefully we signed a guy and now we're getting another guy in the 3rd round. So McKinley, Algier, or Brandon Smith. First 3 for them. Or Ferguson, that's 4. The first 3 I see from any one of those. The first 3 I see for any one of those 4, I'll go. Logan Hall, not taking it yet. We need a running back. We need a safety. Algier, Smith, McKinley, Algier. Oh, God, you guys are not going to make it easy. So 1 for Smith, 1 for McKinley. Brandon, running back. Smith. Okay, I saw 3 for Smith. So we're doing Smith. We got 2 linebackers. We got a hybrid edge linebacker now too. We still really need a safety. So I'm hoping that this guy McKinley falls, and I'm just going to snatch him up right away because that's a massive hole still for us. So I am praying that he falls. Ruckert went. Sorry, guys. Ford, Batty, Algier, 3 running backs back to back to back. Kirby Joseph, Isaiah Thomas, McKinley. Yeah, we kind of screwed ourselves with safety. Okay, hopefully we sign some guys. Did not love how that went. How that went. Smith, we stacked up linebackers, stacked them up. But with that being said, Pierce, the running back. So we still really need a safety. How many picks do we have left? 2. We really need a safety, and we really need a running back. So I'm hoping they sign 2 safeties in this scenario, right? In this scenario, like we need a D tackle. Hopefully they signed a D tackle. Hopefully they signed a offensive tackle, and hopefully they signed 2 safeties. So at this point, what are you guys thinking? Smoke Monday is gone. I don't know. I guess so. It looks like it. Who's available at DB? So yeah, safety, running back are like 2 things like that are kind of non-negotiables right now. JT Woods, Corker, Smoke Monday down the list, and then offense we have running backs. White, who's more of a power guy, right? Robinson, more of a power guy. So probably take White because I guess he's higher ranked. Let's just say these rankings are real. Pierce. What are you guys thinking? I would like to trade down here and get more picks because we did not hit safety like I wanted to. Safety, that's and running back are massive needs. Robinson here is nice too, but we just got Pickens. 2 linebackers. Linebackers are stacked. What do you guys want? What do you guys want? Mm-hmm. The running back? Smoke now? Haskins? You guys are all over the place. Pierce? I'll take the next 2 or 3. Let's see. Smoke, bruh. Dulich, Sean. Let's see. Pierce, Ford. Ford's gone. Pierce. I'm seeing a lot of Pierce. Okay, we're just gonna take Pierce and say that they screwed up his ranking. All right, I see a lot of Pierce in there, so I'll just take him. They screwed up his ranking. He's really one of the better players. Cool. I know he's a power guy. Didn't get a lot of reps in Florida. We have some Florida PTSD, but he's going to break the Florida PTSD. Okay. Yeah. See, I saw a lot of stuff for Pierce. So we only have 1 pick left, which is fine. People do trade downs and they end up having like 16 players in the draft class is going to cost $35 million. It's like, is that the most realistic thing? I don't know. So let's hope there's a decent safety here. And then he ends up being like a 5th round steal. Pierce. Yeah. It seems like people are happy with Pierce. Fine. When's our next pick? Corker, Robinson, Smoke Monday. Everybody's saying Smoke before. Did he just go? No, he's still there. I think by principle, I would have to take Smoke Monday just based on his name, right? And he just went. Do we take this? Do we take this just to fill an extra hole? Do we be a little bit unrealistic? For whatever reason, they really like Brian Robinson here. They don't, another coach came in and misuse or misjudge what's his face? Robinson, right? Is his name Robinson? Who's that running back? Smoke is gone. Why not? Let's take the trade. Screw it. I'm taking it. I want to fill an extra 2 holes or get an extra guy that we could all be really hyped up about that is probably going to fizzle out. But let's do it, Screw it. Why not? People like players. We can double up on running back. People like, do you want to get two tight ends? Kohler, Phillips. I know these 3 names are going to be big right now. I'm not even looking at the chat yet. Kohler, Phillips, Haskins. James Robinson's gone, Praj. Yeah, take Robinson and the kid they just drafted. A D tackle. Yeah, so Flash, we definitely need a run stuffer, but like I don't know how big is this dude. Yeah, I literally don't know. He could be a 295-pound guy. I have no idea. So what are we thinking? Kyle Phillips, Kohler, or Haskins? First 3 starting now. I'll do it. Kohler, Phillips, Haskins, because I know those are the 3 popular guys. Safety? We need a safety still. Who is here? At this point, we're so balls deep in not getting a safety, Nathan, that we're hoping that they took 2 of them. Like I know none of these. I heard of Nick Cross and Reed Blankenship last year. He was higher though, right? Okay, so we got Phillips. Okay, Phillips won right off the jump, so we'll take Phillips. It is what it is. We're late round guys. Like if we're taking a safety here, I know it fills that, it stuffs that hole. Jesus, it like stuffs that hole. But is he going to start? No. Let's just get players that we like, I guess, or that we think we like. Let's be honest. 1 more pick, and let's see, Bubba Bolden. He's a safety, kind of a cool name. Do we want to take Bubba? Joe Balls Deep Blue. Yeah, I say that a lot. Quentin Lake, please. Kohler, he's gone. Let's just people just feel better with the safety. Bubba Bolden. Take him, or who we take? Who's our last pick? Take a backup tackle. We need a backup tackle, but our last backup tackle from USC is not working out so well. We're not taking another linebacker. We're not taking another receiver. Joshua Williams, Bubba Bolden. Do we just take a safety? Cross. Okay, so it looks like safety. Or who is Cross? Is Cross on here? What are we talking about? I don't know who this is. We're taking a safety. McFadden, Brooks, Bubba. I'm taking Bubba. Cool name. I don't care. Okay. We'll pause it because I don't need to go the whole thing. So that's our draft. What do you guys feel like? Do we have a good grade here? He was good, Blankenship. Yeah, he got injured or something because he was supposed to be higher last year. Then he just stalled. We don't know what happens in free agency, but if we end up with Ekwonu, Gardner, Walker, Muma, McBride, Pickens, Brandon Smith, Pierce, Kyle Phillips, what's the letter grade? A+. Damn. All right, take it. Very, very good. Okay. I remember I did one last year. People like, that sucks. Obviously people have their people, but so the things that we massively missed out on here, that I would really, really hope we sign in free agency is safety and receiver. I want a bigger guy than Pickens, obviously with the injuries, but in this scenario, really, really hoping we landed Ekwonu. I kind of didn't highlight him, but I'm really hoping in the scenario we landed a big time safety or two in free agency and a receiver. Safety. Yes. Really, really, other than safety, a D tackle, a backup offensive tackle. What's our biggest weakness here? Where's the weakness on the team? Good job, very, very good. A++, A-, Nathan. Come on, Nathan. Why? Good top A-. We sucked at the end of the draft, dude. We didn't get McKinley. We should have got McKinley instead of Brandon Smith. Maybe if we sign safety, this is an elite A. Yeah, in this scenario, let's say ideally we signed, let's just be semi-realistic. We traded for Brandon. No, not traded because we didn't have these picks then. We got Allen Robinson, Justin Reed, another random safety. Let's just say who's the other guy from the I don't know, another random safety, another $5 million a year guy. And that was the part of it. And a D tackle, Brandon Jones or DJ Jones. So Brandon Smith is only an athlete if you watch the film. Yeah, there's plenty of guys who are only athletes, but you take them to develop them. Brandon Smith questionable. Okay, so people don't love that pick, but that's one to vote. But I'm gonna give this an A. I like how this. Listen, just these top 3 picks right now for me, these are all top 10 guys to me. So if you get 3 top 10 guys in the first 3 picks, I don't even care. I really don't even care. And then Muma, who I liked what I saw. McBride, people talking about at 35. We got him at 69 somehow. He fell. Pickens, come on. Let's settle with a solid A. All right, we're at 8:00. I enjoyed my first mock draft with you guys. You guys are interactive with that. If CBS is grading it, it's a C. Did they give hard picks? A++++. All right, I'll take that. I'm not going to get that. You guys are not going to be as kind next time. Next Thursday, me and Kyle are going to do an off-season mock with the Jet X Summit. You guys are going to hate it. Love the first 6 picks you said, Harold. Ekwonu, Gardner, Walker, Muma, McBride, Pickens. Yeah, that's hitting some names there. You all need to go back and watch Brandon Smith's games. Bully says you're a supporter, right, Bully? Okay, I'm gonna open the lines. If you guys want to call again, run on some fumes. It's over 25 hours. So I might be a little bit stupid if you call in, but I'm gonna share the link if you want to. You do. If you don't, I'll just bullshit in the chat and maybe I'll show some plays and stuff. But I can go into 9-ish or until you guys stop caring. Which no, it's 9 because then my wife's gonna come home and she's like, "Are you really still doing this? You've been up for how long?" But honestly, if I was sitting on the couch right now, I would fall asleep. I don't want to fall asleep right now. So you guys are helping me keep awake. So I appreciate that. We will hate it because of Kyle. No other reason. Yeah. Sometimes people take Kyle's side over me though. John Mechie's going to be a steal of the draft. Yeah, he could be. Mock was awesome. Appreciate it. I think it was Joe Nelson who was pushing for it last time. So Joe, that was on you, and we just got an A+++ draft. So I appreciate that. Richard Hickey, see you next week. So I'll see you next week, Richard. Invite. All right. If you guys want to call in. If not, I'll just keep running through whatever. There's still some topics I don't think I got to be completely honest. So I can just hit that. McDuffie and Walker. You're saying Harrison Weaver? Where? Are talking about 10? Because I don't think either one of those is going at 4. So what are you talking about with that, Harrison? McDuffie and Walker. All right, I'll get to some other topics too. I posted that if you guys want to. If not, it is what it is. I can talk to a blank screen forever. Okay, so we talked about Salah at the combine. Am I overly concerned with Salah not being at the combine? No. What can he not get? Again, he can get the medicals. He can get recordings of them running. He can get the numbers of them running. So what are we overly concerned about? What's the big deal to me? Like, especially with this new Zoom era, if he's sitting in the meeting room basically, but it's just his face, can he not get a feel for the guy? Do you ideally want to be there? Sure, like you get that feel of a guy, but you can't get that feel of a guy in a pull up tape. Harrison of who? Who do you want? If Praj, if McDuffie's in the second round for some stupid reason, do you still take him and put him in the slot? Yes. I don't even care what happened. I don't even care what happened at 10. If McDuffie's there at 35, you take him. When are you going to check out some tight ends? I really think they will draft at least one. Joe, just because they're so far down, like in the second, third round, these guys, I've done the top 18 guys who I think are realistic for the Jets. Eventually, I'll look at them. But with free agency right around the corner, I don't think I'm enough time to really, really watch. George Pickens, 38th pick. Yeah, Harrison, you're saying pull up some film and show some plays of who, though? I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, what's up, Harold? I'm going to add you to the stream. What's up, man?
I'm good. Long time, man. I watch every single, review you do. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. My wife is always looking at me like, "You're watching him again." He curses so much. So
do I curse that much? I always try.
That's what my wife said. So
I try to preface it by saying, "Listen, like hide your kids' ears," but it just comes out, especially when I get excited when I'm watching stuff. But yeah, it makes you definitely a little bit crazy, but I definitely appreciate the support. Like I know there's.
Oh no, you good with me? It's no problem. So. It's only when she walks by. It's not a biggie. Because I usually watch it on my TV. I like the big screen, so I can watch your film reviews and everything. So I usually watch it on my TV. So, but I just wanted to call in. I wanted to kind of just talk a little bit about the the off-season free agency and the draft. That's really the main thing. Let me turn off my TV because I got you playing on the TV in the background. So I just want to turn that off so I don't hear myself as well.
Two screens, not even just one screen, Harold. 2 screens. I appreciate it.
Hey man, it's you, Joe. I'm one of the biggest supporters. It's kind of crazy. I give you guys a little bit of grief in the chat sometimes. Especially Kyle. He kind of gets to me a little bit sometimes with his hot takes, but he's a good dude though. He's a good dude. I like Kyle. But I want to talk about the off season. Basically, my main thing is that I just think if we are smart, this is my opinion. Again, there's some hot takes from me as well. I think. But I think the main thing we need to do is really address. Overall, like you said, I think the offense is a big key to get a couple veteran spots filled in the offseason going into the draft. And I think to fill 1 or 2, like have a baseline on defense. So I don't really think you need to go for killers in defense on free agency. I just think you need to have a baseline. So you say, okay, I at least have a B- player here, worst case scenario. So not shooting for the moon or the stars, but having a baseline to say, okay, the defense can't be but so bad. It's going to at least be maybe league average or a little below. And I think that would be my approach to how I'm looking at free agency. So, like, as far as tight end, I'm not with you with the Dalton Schultz thing. I think he's just a little too expensive for his ability. No offense to him, but I think he's a big beneficiary of the scheme and the players around him. So I think he gets a lot of targets because they're gonna pick their poison. Am I gonna give up a 20-yard pass to CeeDee Lamb? I'm gonna give an 11-yard pass to Dalton Schultz. So I think he benefits from that. So when I watch him, he's really only good against zone. I don't see a lot of real man potential. Me personally, yeah. But so I wouldn't spend a lot for him. I would prefer to go for a more high upside guy like Njoku. I think that would be kind of where I would look at someone who's a little about the same age, but just more upside as far as physical ability. So I would look at Njoku and a lot cheaper, probably. Like can be $3 million, $4 million a year cheaper than Schultz. So that's me personally on the Titan side. Yeah. What do you think on that end?
Yeah, no, I think Njoku's probably gonna get like 7, 8, 9 million. There's a rumor today about the Browns at 10. I don't think they're gonna go that high. And especially you say you watch it, like I'll say stuff, but I'll preface it by saying I gotta watch this guy. Like the Hamilton thing, I was all about Hamilton at 4. If he's generational, I watch him. I'm like, no way, like not even really at 10. I'm about it. So I could watch Schultz and really not want him if what you're saying is true. Like if he is a beneficiary because he has Lamb, because he has Gallup, because he has Cooper, because he has Zeke, because he has Pollard, like okay. Like 100%, I'm with that. So,
I think the blocking is going to disappoint you a little bit as well. I think he's just an average blocker. I don't think he's anything special. I think it's a little more hype than substance. Just in watching him, because I do have like the NFL League Pass thing, and you kind of Game Pass, so you kind of get to watch some of the games and stuff. So I'll go in and pop in and watch some of the people during the year, like if they're, who we might be targeting free agency and that kind of stuff. And like I said, he just didn't impress me that much. He wasn't bad, but I didn't see the 70+ PFF grade and all that kind of stuff that, that they put out there. So that was my main thing with him. So I was like, but as far as safety, I would shoot high on safety. Is the only position on defense where I might spend some money. And that would be Marcus Williams only person. Everybody else would be, maybe Quandre Diggs at 10 million or so. But as far as, 10 million plus, the only safety would be Marcus Williams. I mean, I just think he's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's probably the best safety in the NFL, in my opinion. I know Derwin James, but he just gets hurt too much for me to consider him number one. But I think he's the most talented. But I think just as far as someone who plays game in and game out, I think Marcus Williams is the best guy in the league for me. And obviously going into free agency, I would love to get him, but I don't know if Joe Douglas is going to spend that money, being that if he wouldn't spend on Jamal Adams, even though Jamal Adams wanted to be the highest paid player on the team, 18 million or whatever, I don't think Marcus was trying to do that. So that's why I think sometimes maybe he might do 15 for Marcus Williams, but that would be I think that would be sweet for us as a team. I think we can get a Marcus Williams, then I think that really takes care of a lot of problems on the back end. It really would help our defense kind of have some leaders at each level at that point. We have a CJ in the middle, you have a Marcus on the back, and you have a Quinnen / Carl Lawson on the front end. You have people that are leaders kind of leading that squad. I think that would help our defense a lot. So I would like to get a Marcus Williams if we could.
Yeah, no, and I think they're going to make like 1 or 2 splashes. So I think it'll be, maybe a Marcus Williams, maybe another, an Allen Robinson. Like you said, like they're not going to, and like I've said before, like they're not going to get Marcus Williams and Schultz and Robinson. Like people are going to be disappointed. Like it might be, a DJ Shark and a Justin Reed and, more of a second tier corner. Like that stuff happens. But I think at this point, Joe Douglas kind of realizes where the Jets are in their life cycle, where like they're in a position to really build up the roster and start competing because of how he's like formulated the roster. So I think he will swing on a couple of these guys. And you always hear Jets fans like, oh, he's like kind of like, I guess like what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a shyster, but he's like cheap in free agency. Last year, what did I bring up that last week? 3rd or 4th highest in guaranteed money in free agency, but he's cheap. Like, what are we talking about? So I think he's going to go in on some guys in free agency. So Marcus Williams seems like your number one and you're saying Njoku too. Is he your number 2? And then who is your number 3? And if Njoku is not your number 1 or 2 or 3, but like who are your other guys who are like realistic targets that you want? Obviously, we'd love Williams and Godwin and Schultz. Like, sure, we love all those guys, but
yeah, I think like I was saying, as far as the backup, like for the B- kind of player for the cornerback spot, I love Tavares Wood. I put him in the chat. Just as one of the guys when you were asking about cornerbacks, I would love him. I think he is a wonderful man corner. His zone skills, are said to be okay. I mean, when I watch the Chiefs, he's almost never in zone. He's almost a man-to-man, like every single play, press man, every single play. So I mean, it's very rare to see him in zone. But I mean, so when you watch him in man, though, I just like the fact that, unlike a lot of corners these days, he does get his head around back to the ball pretty consistently, which is, to me, is the number one flaw in most cornerbacks today, is that they don't get their head around. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's the lack of specialization today, because I'm a little older. So, when I was playing, everybody went both ways. So in high school, you play football, you play corner. You play receiver, you play corner, you play running back. So you knew how to play both positions. So I think that helps. I don't know if that's hurting a lot of these guys now, but I just don't see the ball skills are just not as natural as I used to see before. Cornerbacks before used to pick the ball off. I mean, we had guys that weren't even like necessarily the greatest ball hawks, but they still were good. I mean, Aaron Glenn, Marcus Coleman, back in the day. You had before that James Hasty, guys like that who could get their head around and get the ball. I mean, we just, it's just bad in the NFL now. So he would be somebody who would be probably a $8 or $9 million a year guy, but you could get him, he's still young, only I think he's 25 or 26. So he's a young age. He's definitely going to be around for a while. You can get him probably for that range. And I would love him. I think even though he may not be a true number one, he might be a lowest tier, maybe like 28 to 35 in the league. But I think that's still good enough with the scheme we run. And I think with us running, I think almost 40% cover one last year, I mean, I think that he would still be a good fit for us, even though I know people think we run zone, but we do a lot of man, especially last year, especially on third down as well. Obviously, you see I'm a Jets X Factor member because I got all the Jets X Factor stats. So definitely
you share the Nani articles too. There you go.
I read every single. I mean, it's sad, man. It's really bad. I'm a Jets fanatic, man. I've been that way since the 80s. I grew up when I was a little kid. I was probably elementary school, and they had the newspaper with the Jets. It was the New York Sack Exchange, and I was hooked. They had Mark Gastineau, Joe Klecko, Marty Lyons, Salam, and I was like, oh, I love it. I put it up on my wall and everything. So it was like that. From that day, I've been a Jets fan. It's been kind of, I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing for me, but that's what it is. So here we are, almost 40 years later.
Trust me, I'm sharing with you in the problems of Jet stuff. You know how much time I put into this shit. So we both have problems. So
I know you asked about that. I mean to digress so much, but so that would be the cornerback, and then I think on the offensive side of the ball, then I think I would be looking at someone like either if we can't get an Allen Robinson, who I think would be a good fit for what we do. And I like the fact that we wouldn't have to give up much, maybe on a 2-year deal, maybe a 3-year deal, but it acts as a 2-year deal, would be fine for an Allen Robinson because he's not old, but he's going to think he'll be 29 this year. So, I think that would be a good fit. You get him age 29, 30, 31 season. Hopefully he's good for the next 2 years. If he's good for that year, then, bring him back for the third, but worst case, you can cut him. But I think he would be good. Probably, I'm thinking right now, based on the year he's coming off, probably be, 3 years, 39 million probably for him. Hopefully might be a little more, it could be a little richer, but I mean, I think if you give him some real good guarantees, maybe just coming off the real bad season, but wherever he comes in that range, would be fine for me. I think would be good. And not having to give up the assets, I think works for us as well. And then if we can't get someone like him, then I think we go down a step and go for maybe Christian Kirk or Russell Gage, who'll be even a little bit cheaper than him from the Falcons. So I think those would be guys who we can get who wouldn't be number ones. They would kind of be going the opposite way, where now you're elevating Elijah Moore to number one, Corey Davis number two, and then whoever you bring in will be like that number 3 receiver, Kirk or Gage or whatever. So I would be fine with that as well, because I think sometimes we overrate. You need a true number one in today's NFL. I think as long as you have 3 good guys, like Salah said today, you're as good as your third receiver. So I think if that third guy can still beat man coverage, and I think Gage and Kirk is a little better against zone, but Gage is really good against man. I think if you get one of those guys who can beat man coverage, at least as that third receiver, you still got somebody you can go to on third down and stuff like that, and you still can foil a lot of game plans. And obviously, hopefully, we solidify the tight end spot, so that wouldn't be as much of an issue either. So that would be my kind of thought process there with those guys. And then my hot take though for the night, and this is one reason I wanted to call in, because I know you love George Fant, and I know a lot of guys. I would trade George Fant right now. I just would. I think with where we are and the likelihood that we can get an Ekwonu who you love, that's the scenario where I would take Ekwonu. If we're not trading George Fant, I don't think we should take Ekwonu that high. I would feel better trading up even for a Zion Johnson at the bottom of the first round rather than take Ekwonu that high. That's just my opinion. I think it's a better use of resources, because I think you're just using that many top 10, top 15 resources on your old line. It's just too much, poor allocation of resources. So I think I would just, only time where I take Ekwonu is we trade Fant. So I would be looking to trade Fant, trade him while the getting's good, and then I think we can fill another position. Obviously, probably get a second rounder for him, most likely.
You're going to trade him after the draft then?
Well, it depends. It depends on what you can get. I mean, if I can trade him before, I trade him before. But it doesn't matter. I'm just saying my point is.
So in that scenario, Ekwonu goes 1. And you're sitting at 4 with your hands tied behind your back because you just traded Fant.
Oh, and now I already have that figured out. I was getting Morgan Moses back. See, Morgan Moses is coming back under my scenario. So it's not that you just draft Ekwonu. Ekwonu's still going to do the same scenario you wanted, where he's going to play guard. Okay. But I don't have to worry about George Fant and extending him at $14-15 million, which is what I'm going to have to do most likely. I can bring Morgan Moses in for $7.5 million, and it's a better allocation of resources on my line. I have a little more money to spend in free agency. To me, it just makes us gives us a little bit more flexibility. So you sign Morgan Moses 2 years, $15 million. You got Ekwonu there. If Morgan Moses isn't great after year one, you can cut him. Ekwonu kicks out, or you can keep him like we always said. If he's a great guard, leave him as a great guard. So that would be my scenario. So that's my hot take with it.
Yeah, I get it, because you want to spend the resources elsewhere. But to me, if you get Ekwonu and you keep Fant and Becton reaches his potential, you're looking at what could be easily a top 10 offensive line if everybody hits their ceiling. If Becton rounds out,
top 5, because you still got AVT. I mean, you think Connor McGovern would be your worst player? If Connor McGovern's your worst player, you got a great damn line. I mean, Connor McGovern's
we're talking about surrounding Zach Wilson. So I don't want to trade Fant for a bunch of maybes. Like, you have Ben on your line, you have Morgan Moses, who, let's be honest, last year was below, like, he's a decent.
He was average. He's
average to below average. Mm-hmm. You're looking at Becton, who is a question mark coming into this year. So you have average to below average, question mark. Who's playing, and now you're bringing in, like you said, Ekwonu. But if you're trading Fant before the draft, now Ekwonu is not there. Who are you getting there? So, like, I would rather just keep good players, especially when Fant has been voted he's been voted team captain. He seems like he wants to be here. And he had his best year of his career last year. He's 30. He's not old for an offensive lineman. So I would just keep him, to be completely honest. Now,
but what are you going to do? What are you going to do next year, though? Because I think my thing is, as a GM, you always got to do 2 years ahead. So my thing is, in a 2-year plan, you have to decide on that this year. People are like, oh, you let them go next year. No, you already have to have the plan for what next year is going to be this year. It's not just, oh, next year happens. You already have to plan for next year this year. So my thing is, okay, you want to keep them. So what is the plan already for next year? Because you already made a plan, because you didn't just keep them to keep them. I would sign
Fant. You're signing Fant.
So you're signing Fant for $15 million a year on your own. Now you got him, Becton, AVT, and then you're still you're gonna have to go out and get a center next year, because McGovern's gonna they have to re-sign McGovern or get a new one, and then you got Ekwonu, a top 4 pick. I mean, the money that we're spending on I love the O-line, but at some point you got to get a second or third rounder in there.
I know, I get it. I do get your point. But with that being said, like at 4, I don't necessarily want to reach, because we don't want another offensive lineman. I don't want to get rid of a good offensive lineman for a lesser offensive lineman, or a guy who's going to be a question mark. Because you're talking about signing back Moses, who's below average or average, and he's getting a little bit older. So now, what if
he's 1 year older than Fant? But obviously,
how many more snaps has he played?
He's a lot younger. Football years, he's a lot older. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me transition to this, and I'm gonna get to the chat, and then to some plays that people want to see.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Ideal situation. So we talked about your free agents. We don't really know exactly what happened in free agency, because we can't guarantee it. But assuming whatever you want in free agency, what's your ideal picks at 4 and 10? Obviously, realistically, we're not going to say Hutchinson and whoever else.
I got to change it
10, but but go ahead.
Realistically, it'll be Thibodeau. And it would be Sauce Gardner. Those would be my ideal picks. I mean, I do a little film review just like you. I'm a little further along than you, because I started since November, but you'll get there. Obviously, I'm sure. But I love your first round picks. The analysis you've given so far has been really sharp. So I'm definitely looking out for the reviews themselves coming out. But those would be the two. So it'd be Kayvon Thibodeau and Sauce Gardner. And if I couldn't get those two, then honestly, I would be okay. Hopefully, if Hamilton slipped to 10, I would be okay with him. If Gardner was gone, I would swap him out. I think you're a little harsh on Hamilton. I know he had a few bad games, but remember, he was switching positions early this year. So, and when I say switching positions, just from where he was playing primarily, from going from primarily deep to coming down a little bit more this year. So, or either vice versa. I can't remember offhand from the film, but I know he switched.
When I watched him, he was mostly more deep roll than
more deep roll. Yeah, I think he was playing more up, and now he went more back. So I think that was a little bit of a transition for him. So I think that may have had something. And like I told you before in my chat last week, that he only has 20-something starts. So I mean, I think he just has so much potential. I think he's going to be Eric Berry. I think he's going to be Sean Taylor. and that's modern day, and I think he's going to be those guys.
Well, you're talking about Sean Taylor, then yeah, I didn't see enough for him to be generational. Like on my big board vacuum, he's my ninth player. So I'm not like at 10, I could justify it. 4, no way. But I would rather have
4 is a little high. It's a little rich just because it's still projection. I like it. I got a feeling about him, but like you said, it's not on film, so you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. But I just got that feeling from the stuff that I saw. I just thought the rough patches that he had last year were mostly based on kind of a different angle and you're seeing things a different way. So it takes a little bit of an adjustment. So that's what I saw, and I hope that that's the correct assessment. So thanks so much for giving me a little bit of time. I'll definitely be calling in as often as I can. I love to talk sports, and you have a good one.
Cool, man. I really appreciate the call. Appreciate the support. Like you said, you're watching all the time, so that's definitely awesome. And you killed the call, so definitely appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. Awesome call from Harold. I'll share the link again. If not, I'm just going to hit the chat a little bit. What time is it? 6 or 8:26. Again, it's been a while. Liam, what the F? Yeah. It's like webcamschat.com, hot girls and boys video chat. Send some messages if you guys want to click on that. Jim Green from Facebook says, Harold, you need to be a regular. Yeah, dude. Like I would like to build up a regular call list of people. I definitely like, chatting up with you guys. I definitely want to address the offensive line more than Harold does. And I get it though, in terms of you're signing Fant to $13, $14, $15 million. You have Becton, who's a first-round pick. You have ABT, who's a first-round pick. You have McGovern, who's making about $10 million a year. You're drafting Aquanu, who's a first-round pick. Like that's a lot of capital. So you would like to find a guy in the 3rd round who works out. Definitely understand it. But I'm not getting rid of Fant. That's not happening. How is your brain not fried right now? Oh, it didn't come through my computer, Yoshi. Because I'm used to being up for 24 hours, but it's almost 26 now. I'm just used to it. Working midnights, like I'm used to being tired, and I could kind of get past it, So that is what it is. And I'm talking to you guys, so it's distracting me. If I was sitting on my couch now, I'd be sleeping 100%. I would have fallen asleep, but like I'm engaging and talking about football. I'm cool with it. So let's get into, like I said, I shared that. I'm not, it is what it is. If you guys want to call in, it's not no big deal. I will share, and obviously after 3 hours, people drop off. But you guys want to see some film on, or at least I'm not breaking it down. I do not feel like doing that, especially right now. If you watch like Harold, we get into the nitty gritty, the techniques, the coverages, the shuffles, the footwork, the routes, the stems, all of that. Right now, I just can't. And this is not what that's for. I don't like the pressure. Well, not the pressure. I know more than 92 people watch, but that's not what the live streams are for necessarily. You want to see McDuffie and Trayvon Walker tape, says Weaver, and then somebody else asked for Karlaftis. All right. Gotten late. What's up, Joe Pekulik? We're drafting Joe in the 1st round. He's a B. Joe who? Me? And again, like I just think people are pretty soft in general. I'm not calling anybody out because I don't know your guys' schedules, but I'll hear people like, even for football players, sometimes it's like you'll hear people like, oh my God, he had to fly from New Jersey to California. The flight time really screwed up his sleep schedule, or oh my God, I got 5 hours of sleep today. I'm so tired. I'm like, dude, like what? I'm doing fine. It's been 26 hours. Like sack up. Stop being a bunch of pansies. And like think like NBA basketball players too. This is largely based around like the Nets right now. Like how much ramp up time does Ben Simmons need? And I know it's like, and it's with every player. A lot of players like, oh, he's coming back from this. He needs some ramp up time, bro. You're 25 years old and an elite athlete. You could not play basketball for months and go out and play an hour game and sweat your ass off. I get like injuries and all that stuff, whatever. But like ramp up time shit, sleep schedules shit, like just come on, people. Okay, I'm gonna pull up some stuff. I'm gonna pull up a random place since there's not a lot of chat right now and people asked for it before, so hopefully they either come back and watch it later or whatever. JE, if London or Burks 40 times are good, Jets are definitely picking one of them. Yeah, we kind of hit that a lot, Jay, in terms of who else is there? What do they do in free agency? Like you're saying definitely. Okay, so let's say now in my ideal situation, they signed Godwin. Now you have Godwin, you have Corey Davis, you have Elijah Moore. Are they still picking London at 10? 4 guys. They want to play 12 personnel, or even 11 personnel. Who's sitting on the bench in that situation? Mark Orlando, you definitely want to see my Walker breakdown. I'm going to. It's going to be posted. I'm obviously not doing it now. I'll pull up some random plays of these guys. Joe, where do you get your film? I can't. That's not. It's crazy. Like NFL film, you pay for it. You go and you pay for it. College film, you get it from a source. You do not reveal your source. Joe, you're not big on a receiver at 10. Oh, I can pull these up right now. Sorry, I'm not. Mark, want to see it? It'll be out soon. I'll show some plays where you can watch for yourself, and I'll just like mention like, okay, burst, strength, whatever. Where do I get my film? Again, with college stuff, you have a source and you don't give it away because people get in trouble for sending it out. So if you find a guy to give it to you, you don't mention them. I'm not big on receiver at 10 because I don't think anybody necessarily fits the bill of being worth that pick at 10. And with that being said, I'm a guy who really wants to address and get that big home run, free agent wide receiver. So I wouldn't take them. In my ideal scenario, you're not getting 2 guys that high. Steven, yeah, I just mentioned that. Give me Godwin, give me Allen Robinson, give me a trade for Cooks, give me Cooper for a 3rd and late round pick. Like that's what I'm about. One possible future would benefit Aaron Rodgers himself. All right. Kyler Gordon, like him from what I saw. George Pickens, I don't really know because I didn't really watch the Georgia's offense. But I like both as options in like the 2nd, 3rd round. What's money? $3-4 million. I wanted Juszczyk last year. What did he get? Like $5-6 million a year. If they're going to integrate him enough, and he's going to play 50% of the snaps, and he's going to be a guy who would basically be like a pseudo tight end, H-back, fullback. Okay, cool with it. I see what you mean. Any update on Godwin's recovery? I've heard nothing. Neither have I really, but ACLs with how they are nowadays, it's kind of almost like another injury. So you're hoping that he's going to come back, and he's young enough where it's not like I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. So let me just pull up some random play. I don't know if the people are here who asked for that. Do you guys want to see any stuff, or should I just talk with you guys for another couple minutes and bounce? If you guys want to see anything, I'll try to pull up some random plays of guys. But I do want to get into a session where we're doing this a little bit earlier, maybe around draft time, where it's like, hey, what are you hearing? What are your favorite traits, or what are you hearing about Burks? This, and this. And then I'll either support you with film, or I'll just show you some plays. I'm not going to break it down, maybe a little, and maybe disagree with your take. Maybe, again, I'll support it, So I definitely want to get into some of that stuff with you guys because when I watch, there is a lot of misconceptions about guys. This guy can do this. Drake London can't run routes, which is one of the biggest misconceptions ever. If you're talking about lateral ability and you're worried in general about his size, but he cuts well for his size, I get it. But in terms of, he can't run routes, he's just a vertical guy. That's bullshit. Complete bullshit. It is. So whoever's saying that, they're watching 5-minute highlight tapes and they're not watching them, or they're watching them, they don't know what they're talking about. I'll be upfront with that. I don't care who it is. What contract are you giving to Schultz? Jordan, I'm whatever the years are, I'm about at max at about $12-13 million a year. Like Harold was saying, that might even be a little bit of an overpay. But for me, the drop off between him and some secondary guys, I'm willing to overspend just to make Zach comfortable. For Schultz. Oh, sorry, I didn't pull up your thing. Steven, who was your cornerback 1? Gardner or Stingley? Gardner now because of health. I also think he was better this year. If Stingley played like he did his freshman year over his next 2 years and he didn't get injured, it's Stingley. Stingley was an absolute freak his freshman year. Absolute freak. And I did a breakdown on him. You're going to see some of the freshman stuff and you're going to see some of the junior stuff. Trayvon Walker, okay. Yoshi, yeah, I don't know if this is normal. Apparently Jameson Williams is walking fine 6 weeks out of ACL surgery. Is it normal for who was the running back for the Rams? Again, you guys excuse me, but forgetting some names right now. That's the side effect for sure. I drafted him in fantasy. I still won that league. Name. Somebody's gonna have it. Do you like chicken cutlets? J. Cole, with always the most random stuff. J. Cole, yeah, I would say chicken is my favorite meat. It's the best. Hot sauce and chicken. That's. I know. I like your boy Jeremy, who was in here before. Definitely is the best thing to go with hot sauce. So I'm all about chicken. Muma, noted. From Harrison, just my surprise from Hamilton Trevor. No to each one of those. I talk about these guys a lot already. Hamilton, 10, justify it. Trayvon Walker, 10, okay with it. Jermaine Johnson, either one, not for it. I talk about Jermaine Johnson a lot. I don't know what his calling card is. The moves that he won with was a lot because of bad tackle play versus him actually winning with good technique. His pass rush plan is very inconsistent. Him setting angles for himself, very inconsistent. Him coming into blocks with good leverage, very inconsistent. I'm not about Jermaine Johnson. He's my 5th edge. Trayvon Walker is my 4th. So if you're talking about him at 10, okay, I'm cool with Trayvon Walker at 10, depending on everything else that happens. But Akers, yeah, thanks, J. Cole. Cam Akers, I forgot. Definitely want to see some guys. Who did somebody say up here? I'll just pull up some plays of him. Trayvon Walker. Okay. Yeah, he was my edge 4, almost edge 3, because he definitely has a higher ceiling than a Karlaftis because of his physical upside. Again, you got to understand the guy is 275, 280, 6'5", good explosion, decent bend, superb power. Cam Akers, Brady played. Yeah, no, that happens sometimes, Mike. That big boy. Max Harrison is who we need. Yeah. Who's your 3rd edge guy? Karlaftis. So I'll pull up some. I'll pull up some Walkers. Let me ask for that. I'll just do that real quick. Share screen. Share. Okay, where are we at? Minimize. I forgot I clicked on that link with what was it, Hot Boys and Girls Camp. Walker. Pillar, rush win. Based on what power explosion. Like I don't know exactly what I labeled this all as. Like again, I don't have the 3-4 best queued up plays because I'm recording 30, 40 plays with some of these guys. So a lot of it's gonna be random. Left edge right here is obviously number 44. But he has, and that's not even the most impressive one. Explosions off the line, the power is because of the one-arm stab, but it's not the most like appealing for like just a highlight clip of the guy. I get into like the technique and all the other stuff, but you could see, even on this play, you could see serious power, serious explosion, obviously good hand placement, good leverage. He's not there. The ball is out quickly. And I'll just keep throwing some stuff. Power. I don't know what this is about. He's right here, right side of your screen. Yeah, no, he's a big boy. Stunt, rush, good and bad, absurd. Okay. Oh, this is the play where he takes on both 81 and Neal and still makes the play on the ball, which is just showing ridiculous power. Obviously, the hands. Now you're seeing him work off the insteps too. Insteps, most powerful part of your foot. Again, you don't want to work against a natural lever point of your knee. If you're working with a natural lever point of your knee, it's easier to get pushed back to bend. When you're working against the insteps, it's kind of throwing an awkward angle into your knee, and it's harder to move that. That's what you want to drive up through your leg, or up through the turf, through your leg into your hips. Good leverage, hands, gets his hands on his guys, split the double team a little bit. Obviously stacks, tosses Neal like a child, even though Neal gets bumped, but still, and then is able to get there. Like the guy. And if you go through it frame by frame by frame in some of this stuff, stack, hit, condense, move, power, plan, pressure, stuff. Let's see his stuff. I don't know what this is. Right turn here. Yeah. If you're coming against him on a pull and he's pinching down, you better be ready because he is very strong and very, very physical, and he's not afraid to bang. So they're running like a counter OT, and it gets absolutely pops the center who's pulling. That's obviously a nice one. Picker, is there a good one? Power plus hands and feet. I don't know what this is. One tech, and the good thing about him is he can play all over the line too. And people he's definitely raw as a pass rusher, but I would like to see him wide a little bit more in Georgia. A lot of his scheme, he was tight, which doesn't give him the full opportunity to run like speed to power. But I want to see him do that more in the NFL level. I don't know where he goes. Jets, of course, maybe. But he can play all over the line, so he has that versatility. So definitely, again, he's got some upside. It's more physical, speed, power, all that stuff than it is like a really good pass rush plan consistently. But you're banking on upside with this guy. So he's right here again. The one thing he needs to work on is his tackles get broken a lot. So open field, miss sacks, power, but two hands, long arm, plan, strength, but stack. post move stuff, rush, slow telegraph, spin, easy stack, shed, rush win. I don't know what people are saying. Is London wide receiver 1? Yes, Nick Shea. Johnson's not a bad pick for a trade back. I'd take him at 35. He's athletic, strong, instinctual, and plays every game. Athletic, yes. If you're talking about Jordan Victor, if you're talking about Jermaine Johnson, athletic, yes, but also a little bit overrated in terms of athleticism. Like I think he's good in terms of his tackle radius. I think he has good burst. I think he has good strength in terms of like really twitchy flexibility and bend. It's not there. Running backs, Harold, arms seem very long. Oh yeah, Harold. I record a lot of these plays, like a lot of these reviews already, and I mentioned he's gonna have like 35-inch arms. He's gonna have like 35-inch arms. Rush win, left side of your screen. Again, I'm just pulling up random stuff. That's everybody's boy, Evan Neal. So anybody else you guys want to say? I just pulled up some random stuff. Anything in the chat to talk about, or I'm gonna bounce. Walker's arms. Yeah, he's a beast. I think he's the best at it. Yeah, his physical upside is absurd. Somebody mentioned, I'm just gonna pull up maybe a player or two. Karlaftis. This is my edge 3. Dude can play D tackle too. He's that strong. Yeah, and that's the thing, Harrison too. Like he would like, yeah, you want that super twitched up 260 guy, 265 to play from like wide non consistently. But Walker gives you so much. Like he played primarily on D like as a D end, and he should be a D end. But you can have some crazy looks with him, JFM, Q, Carl Lawson on the line. Bull double swipes. He's on the right side of your screen now, the rightmost edge. Again, I'm just pulling up random shit. I really have no idea what these plays are going to be. Again, the thing is, like people focus a lot on athleticism, which to a certain extent you need. Like you want burst off the line, which he has burst off the line. He has quick like lateral ability. Doesn't have the most bend, doesn't have the most flexibility. But if you're winning consistently with your hands, you don't need to bend as much. Like if you're winning cleanly, a la this play, you don't necessarily need to be the most twitched up, flexible guy. You want to see him have a little bit better change of direction, like long-term change of direction, U-turn type stuff I talk about. But arm over flex, I don't know. I had no idea what this is. I recorded these plays, let's say. Recorded on February 2nd. So I recorded this, a month ago. Arm over flex right here. 3. Dude. Like and there are plays that are bad, and there are plays that I go over. I'm being kind of nitpicky here, or I'm just going over some of the good stuff, or just pulling up some of the good stuff, which is a lot of it to start. Like to start the Notre Dame game, and the next game I watched were all just dominant plays. He's on the left side of the screen here. I don't know what he does. Again, you see a guy who's getting a little bit wide, and he's telegraphing his block inside versus outside leverage, and you can get flat and club him and just throw him to the ground. Now, or throw him to the ground. I know he doesn't end up finishing the play because the center peels off, but just reading that language right there, really, really nice. He's awesome at reading leverage, reading guys' sets. So swipe and chop paired with feet corner. Oh, yeah, this is a really nice play too. How he gets out of this play, which I go over in the review and why that's so impressive. Typically, you want to pair your moves with elongated strides to corner. Like you'll see a lot of guys who are not good rushers who will chop and then take steps and then try to corner, and then you give the tackle time to recover. You want to plan on winning, so extend your stride to corner. You don't want to do one then the other. You want to do one while you're doing the other. 1, 2, not 1, 2. And he's really, really good at reading sets and winning and turning like that. Again, that's impressive to get around that corner like that. Why? Because he elongates his stride and he's working off the instep of the outside foot. You don't want that foot under the frame when you're cutting or when you're trying to break inside, break outside, whatever it may be. That foot has to be a little bit in front and outside of the frame. Really, really good job. Obviously, it's the hit, balls out. Okay. How is he supposed to win quicker here? How is it possible? So, bull jerk. I don't know what this is. Right side of your screen. And for the people who don't watch a film review, I hope that you do not think this is what it actually is. Go over it in a lot more depth, but quick win. Is there anybody else? I'll monitor the chat. I'll stand for like 15 minutes and see if there's anybody else want to pull me up real quick. Right side of the screen, the end. Again, ball is out quick. How quick do you want the win though? blow up run, bull, spin, effort, long arm, blow up run. Let's see what this is. Right here. 6-eye. Okay. Let's go through a couple more. Let's give 3 more plays. Stride setup. Yeah, that's gonna be. I don't want to have to explain that. Carl Wynn, footwork stuff. Let's see footwork stuff. Left side. That's just him being on the corner really, really quickly and knowing his angles. Really, really like that. Doesn't look that crazy, but that's super smart. Stride setup's gonna be nice too. Hands, win, pass the run, stuff run. I'll just do this one. We'll end. Or I'll bring up another guy if you want me to. I only got another like 15, 20 though. He has some impressive plays, but he's not athletic. All right. Moving on. Anybody else? I hope you're right. I can't wait to watch your Walker breakdown. He might be my edge 3 now. Yeah, he's close. He's competing with Karlaftis. Karlaftis just because of the technique. He finishes as my 2. Hopefully that wasn't too choppy. I don't know how bad my internet is right now. Can you show a little McDuffie? Okay, cool, Harold. I shall do it. The thing is, like, I don't know if you guys remember the ABT review of last year. He's almost like almost boring, but really, but good. Missed tackle, press, feet. Like I don't really top of the screen. I don't really know exactly what plays that are going to be like really impressive to show, especially corner, because a lot of the time they're not targeted, so it's not flashy. But you're going to see really good consistency with his feet, really good lateral movement, the ability to stay square, good athleticism, willing tackler, good with alternating punches, doesn't reach for punches. You see how patient he is right there. Like top, I don't know if I said top of the screen, patient. Top of the screen again, McDuffie. Really patient. And it's not, he actually opens up his hips pretty early right here. And I go over this in the review again in more depth. But the fact that he gets in a shuffle, but a lot of guys at this point might just full bail into a shuffle. But the fact that he's opening up a little bit early. But the thing is, he's playing that so conservatively over the top while opening up to the outside, opening the gate, as I say. If the corner were to break inside on a slant, he could flip his hips, slingshot, and get back inside. But if he were to full bail and sprint, he's not going to be able to do it. So I like the patience right there, and then the squeeze to the sideline, cut him off, stack him, get his eyes back. That's good too. Squeeze off coverage. I don't know, bottom of the screen, right? Yeah, bottom. So, little McDuffie, patient. Yeah, great patience because he has athleticism to do that. Yeah, no, and that's a part of it. Harrison is you have to be able to trust your athleticism. Now there is times where he's in off coverage where he gets a little bit too patient with his feet, where he's inching back, where I want to see him backpedal, where he got beat deep once because of that. The ball didn't go there, but he needs to. I want to see him talk some shit. So he's not in targeted here, and long story, he's in zone, and the ball gets picked off by the linebacker, but he is. Did I show the wrong guy before? He's 22. Did I say 2 before? That might have been my fault. 22 right here. But just watch him talk shit after the play. And you like corners to be a little bit cocky / confident. So I like this one just because I pointed this out in the review, but watch him. Just point at the receiver. Love that stuff. Love it. You got to get in guys' heads as DBs. Love the shit talk. Patient, off coverage, off man, off coverage, patient, aggression. Aware, third down. This is one where I go and I talk about this one for probably 3 minutes on the review, but this play top of the screen is very, very impressive. Deep third, his awareness of just like really quickly, his awareness of both secondary route. His deep third is taken up by a comeback, but he's looking at one of 2 things, either a combination of the quarterback and the receiver, and he knows the ball is not going outside because the quarterback's shoulder is not showing that he's going outside right there, and he's reading the quarterback. He's loading up to throw where? Look at the shoulder, look at the eyes. He's going inside. He notices that, sees the secondary option. They're just running like a vertical stretch type concept. Not going over that. Almost like a pull concept right here. Notices it, makes a play outside of his zone because a lot of guys who aren't aware right here are going to take this right now and not be aware of that. He's aware of it, and then you're going to see him drive on the ball. Receiver catches it, but he's able to obviously drive quickly, make a break, smack the legs out, ball's incomplete. Like very, very good awareness outside of his zone right there. Very, very good. Third versus Vert, Penn. Okay, I don't know. Eyes in backfield, be careful. Too aggressive shoot. Then you see some aggressive snaps from him too. Goal line. I hate guys who back up on the goal line. The farthest one I get back is the white line. And he's a guy who could offhand, strong hand, press, soft shoe, off coverage. Like he has a lot of different things. And this is like, I want to see him aggressively press in the red zone too. And he does that. So I really like him. Anybody else who guys want to see quickly? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. People are bailing. It's okay. Not impossible. Can you show a little McDuffie? He has great patience. Yeah. Jets X Factor connection is good. Are you using wireless? You get better through. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get that. Kenyon Green. Yeah, I'll do that eventually. I actually wanted to get that fit the coax cord. Was it coax? Yeah, cord in here and connect it to the computer. But my computer like doesn't have that connection, and when I put the box in here, it ran really slow. So you say Kenyon Green. Impressive plays. I'm trying to think. A lot of my stuff with offensive linemen is like nitty gritty about the footwork, so it's not going to be overly like. There's no Aquano plays in here. Aquano is a highlight tape. Left tackler and shit Gallup. If you want to know what a Gallup is, I'll explain it to you in the actual full film breakdown. But really good feet. The run doesn't obviously go to him, but that play is very impressive for a guy his size. The technique, not carrying the guy too far inside, peeling off, good timing, linebacker, cool. Drag hand, hug tech, power step. You guys know what that is. You know what it is. If you're not, you're not. Run block. I don't know what this is. Left tackle. There's some good and bad in there. I'm not going to go over that. Patient anchor. Slingshot. Yeah, I like the slingshot. If you guys know what this is, again, I'll explain it in the full review if you do it. But he is the guard. He's a guard. He pulls. He slingshots 99. Do you know what a slingshot is? Maybe. If not, you'd explain it in the full version. But really good like secondary move if you're beat either inside or outside. The guy's a little bit past you. Really like the slingshot there from him. Getting pulled. I'm going a little bit fast, but define but lean. Let's say define. Defines are usually good. Left guard. Creates a pretty big gap. Again, option at 10. I'm showing you guys highlights pretty much right now. Effortless power, zone block, climb. First stunt, zone climb, short area quickness. Those are usually kind of fun. Left guard right here. Then I'll tell you, like, if you have like any more questions, I'm going to do it for another couple minutes. I know people get a little bit tired after an hour and a half, 2 hours of the same voice, especially when I'm talking just by myself. One more play. Climb, overtake, zone, heads up. Okay, this is the last play of the review. Left guard. This is where I explain, and on this play again, full version, I go into Benton's zone blocking scheme and how this play would be a little bit different in Benton's zone scheme versus what Texas A&M is running. Like, and the thing is, people think every inside zone is the same, every mid zone is the same, every outside zone is the same, every power is the same. Not true. There are many different little intricacies of how coaches teach inside zone, outside zone. Here, they would handle it differently with the Jets, and I go over that in the review. But it's still a good play by him based on what they're obviously taught to do. So, anything else? Green, I think Green is very consistent. I think you really do it all. What do you think of George Pickens, Bob? I haven't watched him enough to really get like a full opinion. I don't know. I know he's the guy people who say he can be top 5 if he wasn't hurt. What are the medicals? That's the biggest question with him. Have I watched him enough to give you a full picture? No, I've done 18 reviews. Or no. 18 draft guys, and I've watched in passing these guys, but not enough to be like, okay, this is what I think, because I don't like just saying that because I watched a highlight video. Oh, this has been on the screen the whole time. Sorry, I didn't see that from Gary. Harrison's going. Okay, call it there. Appreciate you guys. There's like 150 plus in here at one point. Again, dropped a little bit, and going for 3 hours is what it is. I will be back next Thursday with Kyle Smith. Before then, you'll get another review. The next one you guys are going to see that's going to come out is Icky. After Icky, it is After Icky, it's nope. That's not my list. After Icky, it's Neil, which is not going to be the most fun review for you. It might as well just skip that and just chalk it up because I don't like him. But it's Aquanu, Neil, Karloftis, Sauce, Jermaine Johnson, Linderbaum, Burks, Drake London, Wilson, then Elijah Moore, Stingley, McDuffie, Dean, Lloyd, Walker, Green, Hutchinson. So appreciate all you guys. I will talk to you soon.